video conference from 7 Bubbling Creek Drive, Travels Rest, South Carolina 29690. In accordance with the Brown Act, this location has been identified on the agenda for this meeting. I would now like to ask Board Member Cernica to respond to the following questions. Question number 1, are you able to hear our proceedings on this end?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a copy of the agenda for this meeting?
Yes, I do.
Has your agenda been posted at your location?
Yes, it has.
Is your location such that any member of the public could participate in public portions of this teleconference meeting from your location?
Yes.
Okay. Members of the board, are you able to hear Board Member Cernica?
Yes. Yes.
All right, now, because we are having this teleconference, all actions will be a roll call vote. Rosie, could you please call roll? Here.
Excuse me. Lisette?
Here.
Peter? Brianna?
Here.
Mary Beth?
Here.
Carmen?
Here.
Maverick?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
We have quorum.
Martin, could you please lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance and invite everyone to stand?
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to move on to item 1D, approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
I have Brianna and Mary Beth.
Roll call.
Roll
Rosie?
call. Lisette?
Aye.
Peter? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Maverick?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye.
5+2 passes.
Thank you, Rosie. Now moving on to items number 2, Spotlight of the Coastway. I would like to invite Dr. Miramontes to share the month spotlight, please.
Yeah, something we do have been doing, celebrating the successes within the community. I'm going to ask our Chief Academic Officer come on up and introduce those that are being honored tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. The Governing Board of Cabrillo Unified School District would like to formally recognize and extend its sincere appreciation to the members of the Bond and Parcel Tax Citizen Overview Committee for their continued service and commitment to our schools and community. We would like to recognize the following individuals: Kendra Holland, Hero Ellis, Chris Giannini, and Miss Lisa Zanet.
Israel, there's one more.
Yeah, there's a Fairlawn View Elementary.
This individual could not be here today, but I believe her daughter may be here. And this individual has worked for our district for 30 years with exceptional service, supporting our students, our community, our families. We are really honored to recognize her for her years of service, and the individual, Sandy Myers, who retired from our district.
Thank you. And I knew your mom when I used to work at as a tutor for the SAS program many years ago. And she was always very helpful and a really great person. So I'm happy for her. I mean, obviously she's enjoying her retirement. Good for her. Good for her. Next is 2B, Fairlawn View Elementary School Board Presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share this presentation about Fairlawn View Elementary School. Since I have approximately 7 minutes for this presentation, please see the agenda, and let's get right to it. This year at Fairlawn View Elementary School, we are incredibly fortunate to have our transitional kindergarten through 5th grade classrooms housed in 2 beautifully renovated buildings. It was a long and busy road from our groundbreaking ceremony in November of 2023 to our ribbon cutting ceremony in the fall of 2025, but most definitely worthwhile. While students are enjoying their new classrooms, I think they might be more excited about our upcoming playground project scheduled for this summer. As we wrap up the finishing touches on phase 2 of our modernization project, I'd like to thank our CUSD community once again for voting in favor of the bond measures, which allowed us to transform our facilities into a learning environment we can all be proud of. We have a new face greeting students at Fairlawn View. Marta Gretsch, our new administrative assistant, is doing a great job learning the ropes of school office life and is a welcome addition to our school staff. Sandy Myers, as just mentioned, administrative assistant at Fairlawn View for many years, is already missed, but we wish her well in her retirement after more than 30 years of outstanding service in the Cabrillo Unified School District. Lucy Navarro continues to support Fairlawn View families and staff with patience and grace in her role as clerical assistant. We are grateful for all of her outreach and support that she provides for our Spanish-speaking families as well. Our student enrollment has been increasing slowly but surely over the past few years, as shown in this graph featuring enrollment data that can be found on the California dashboard. While we may not reach our former student populations of 2019 and 2020, when students from the Moonridge community rode CUSD buses to and from Fairlawn View each day, we are hopeful that our newer facilities, high quality instruction, high academic scores, and strong sense of school community will attract more families in the coming years. While we currently have 196 students, Fairlawn View's total enrollment for the 2024-2025 school year was 177 students. The dashboard school demographics data shows that relatively small percentages of our student population were English learners, socioeconomically disadvantaged, or students with disabilities. With regard to race and/or ethnicity, as you can see by the percentages shown here, the majority of our students were white, but there was a slight increase in racial diversity from the previous school year. We hope that recent renovations will continue to attract a more diverse student body in the coming school years. Students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades will participate in the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress in May. The majority of our eligible students performed well on their summative CASP assessments last year. Approximately 68% met or exceeded standard for the English Language Arts assessment. Approximately 67% met or exceeded standard for the math assessment. Both scores are above the California state average. In addition to the ELA and math CASP assessments, students in 5th grade will take the California Science Test this May. Last year, 72.72% of our 5th graders met or exceeded standard on the CAST. This is a significant increase from the previous year's percentage, which was 48.28%. This California dashboard infographic shows our distance from standards on the ELA and math summative CASP assessments. It measures how far on average students are from the lowest possible score for standard met, or level 3. Compared to our 2024 CASP scores, we maintained that distance last year in ELA and decreased by 3.3 points in math. Regardless, FE scores were in the green range both years, while the state scores were in the orange in 2024 and the yellow range in 2025. While the California dashboard notes that there is no performance color for CAST, it shows an increase of 11.8 points for our average distance from standard. On the right, you can see a brand new measurement posted on the dashboard this year that shows student growth on ELA and math assessments. It is so easy to focus on whether students met or did not meet standard. However, there are some students who, for various reasons, will most likely never meet standard on these assessments. So focusing on growth and improvement is a more assets-based approach, which highlights and celebrates their academic efforts and learning. Our chronic absenteeism rate increased slightly by 0.5% last year. Unfortunately, that was enough to move us from yellow to orange on this particular infographic. Chronically absent refers to students who are absent 10% or more of the instructional days they are enrolled in school. We continue to meet and work with, and work with families of students who are chronically absent so they can maximize their education. We completed our school travel fellowship program with Safe Routes to School, and were able to install a temporary demonstration project in the form of an intersection mural with the goal of increasing pedestrian safety by slowing down traffic through the intersection by our campus. In December, Fairlawn View kindergartners, pictured on the left and center, participated in Safe Routes to School's Pedestrian Star program pilot and geared up for a walking field trip through the crosswalks of that same intersection. I'd like to point out that I prepared these slides and submitted them over a month ago in preparation for a possible January presentation to the board. I think it is very timely, however, that I'm presenting this week instead. There is still much work to be done to ensure that our coastside students, staff, and families are safe as they walk or roll in our neighborhoods, as evidenced by our candlelight vigil this very week for a former Fairlawn View student. Our hearts go out to his family and friends. To conclude my presentation tonight, I'd like to highlight a few examples of the joy of learning that can be experienced at Fairlawn View, whether students are engaged in math centers, reading books with their buddies, painting self-portraits, planting or harvesting in our outdoor classroom garden beds, etc. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Thank you. I'm gonna first offer Pete an opportunity. Is there any questions, Pete?
I don't have any questions. I was anticipating some positive numbers, and those were better than I thought, so it seems like things are going well. I thank you for your work and your time.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a big fan of Fairlawn View. All three of my children have gone there, and they've all had a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I'm so sad my last little guy is on his last year there. So thank you, thanks to all the staff and all the people who've made it so wonderful for us.
And your last little guy, as you said, he was a TK student when I started there. So this is my first full arc from TK through 5th grade. It's pretty surreal and special. He's a great kid.
Thank you so much for all the work you do, and I do want to point out how what a great way of looking at things where you're measuring the growth and acknowledging that just for whatever reason, some kids are just not going to get there, right? And so just acknowledging that they have been trying and that they're growing is really important. So thank you for putting it in that perspective. That was really nice. And then I have a question regarding the chronic absenteeism. What kind of preventions or can you give me examples of what you're doing to help alleviate that?
Certainly. We send our automatically generated letters, of course, to remind families that attendance is important. We, of course, offer high quality instruction and engaging activities that we really hope that we remind families, like if your child misses it, that's something that can't be made up. And while we may be able to offer independent study for short-term absences, it's no replacement for the education they receive in the classroom. We also meet with families. I just had a meeting today with the family to hope, we went over the expectations, and we're really hopeful that, by meeting with them and sitting down with them, going over their attendance data, they see that, okay, yeah, maybe this is something we need to just wake up a few minutes earlier each day. We go over strategies such as prepare your outfits the night before, get the lunches packed the night before, whatever little tricks we can provide to make that a smooth transition in the morning to get to school. So,
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for all your work, and thank you for this presentation. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much for everything. I wanted to also thank you for CUSD for opening up your school the other night. And in my mind, schools have always been a community area, and having the covered area at Fair Longview, it just highlighted just something else, like that there was a safe, large space that could handle what we needed to, and it was just, so thank you to everyone who passed that on, and to the ideas and the construction, and thank you for having me over that. Was for the science, was there something different that happened, or do you,
It's a very good question. When I saw that, I was quite surprised. I think because it is worth noting that it has been for many years one class that's taking that test. So it just kind of depends on the students in the class that year and what their academic performance looks like overall. And then, yeah, I think they just, I'm. Wish I had a more scientific answer for that, but it's one class per year, so it's gonna look different each year. But thank you.
Is it now 2C? Oh, I'm sorry. Why am I missing it? ¿Dónde? Oh, okay. 2C. Okay. No entiendo.
We're next with student board members' reports.
Oh, yes, 2C. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't, 2C. Yes, board members report. Would you like to start, Martin?
All right. We first took a field trip to Rosita I's Mural Center in the Mission for our our mural class, and our mural class is working on a new mural with an Aztec theme. And Pilarcitos has applied for a grant from New Schools Venture Fund for a full-time counselor who specializes in CTE, and we will know if it was approved by June. We have submitted our WASC self-study, and the visiting committee is planned to come in March 2nd through the 4th. And that's it. Very short news.
Thank you, Martin, for the Pilarcitos High School Student Board Member report. And now, Half Moon Bay High School Student Board Member Maverick.
Hi. I have a few things, so I'll jump right into it. First off, excited for ski week next week. Should be nice. Ready to relax, get some sleep. But in leadership, we had the Sadie Hawkins dance that happened not too long ago, and actually I have really good news about that. So last year, we were going to do a winter formal, and we had to cancel it because we were going to lose money. We lost money, and it was just bad. No one really wanted to go. But this year, we actually made money on our winter dance, and so that hasn't happened in a really long time. It was definitely successful, and we're happy in leadership. Give us a little extra money for prom, and just nice to see that people are actually excited for dances and stuff. So, yeah, I had a fun time at it for sure. Also, on that, prom tickets are on sale now. The prices go up depending on so right now they're a certain price, and then in like a month they'll go up, just so we want people to buy them now so we know how many people are going. They are a little pricey, but we're doing a promposal contest. We do this every year where if you record a promposal and you get voted, the winner last year was some girl got asked and the whole band was there, and it was very exciting. They filmed a video of it, and so they got free tickets to prom. Just a little incentive, and they don't have to pay for the tickets, obviously. So yeah. Also, there was a cornhole tournament. That was fun. Me and my friend did it. We didn't win, but I still had a good time. And the winners get to go out to eat for lunch with leadership teacher Berrigan. So I wish I won the prize, but I didn't. It's okay. Senior nights tomorrow for basketball, girls and guys, and for soccer. So I kind of want to go to the soccer before my basketball game. Try to see the kickoff, maybe a few minutes. But yeah, lots of senior action tomorrow. And more in sports. The spring practices for sports have started. Tennis, track and field, baseball, they're all up and going. Final season of the year. I'm doing baseball as well, so I'm excited for that. Also, morning weights for football has started. I remember doing that, and good luck to those kids. That's all I gotta say. And last thing, I want to give a shout out to Marine Eco. I'm in the class. We had a field trip today to Pillar Point. It's a really fun class. If you ever have someone who's wondering if they should take it, I would recommend them taking it. I really enjoy it. We have a field trip once every 2 weeks, I'd say. Super fun. We're going to Monterey Bay Aquarium the week when we get back from break. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Shout out to Ms. Willera and Mr. Santoni, they're the teachers. It's a great class, and that's all I have for today. Marine ecology. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maverick. How much money did you guys make? Just curious.
I'm not exactly sure. Not a lot, but a decent amount.
That's awesome. Okay.
Just making money in general.
No,
was
I
a
get it. I
bonus.
get it. I was just curious. No, but you're right. Anything was better than a loss completely. Yeah. All right. Moving on to item 3, general business 3A, immigration support plan overview, board presentation.
Thank you. We have an overview of the district's immigration support plan detailing key resources, including our student and family guide, a school officials quick reference guide, and information on our CUSD family immigration resources website. Also presented will be the district's immigration enforcement response process and the new legislative updates on student political activities and state guidance from the California Attorney General on immigration rights. Mr. James Barnes.
Good evening. Good evening, President Cortez, Governing Board, and Dr. Miramontes. My name is James Barnes. I'm Director of Educational Support Services for the district, presenting on our immigrant support plan. You see on the slide there some of the folks who helped put this together. Israel Castillo, our Chief Academic Officer, Rosaba Segura, our School Community Services Administrator, and Drew Gammett, our Bond Program Fiscal Project Director, among others. Let's see, I gotta make sure I do this right. There we go. Okay, I want to begin with some of the goals, our goals and values around immigration and support for our community. The goals that we are looking to support: maintaining safe, inclusive, and non-discriminatory schools for all our students, communicating that schools are not immigration enforcement agencies. We want to limit enforcement access to campuses and require valid legal authority for any requests, and protect student and family information in compliance with FERPA and California law, and implement clear protocols, including staff training, legal review, and proactive family communication. So those are some of the goals that our support plan is following. I want to look at this commitment to equity that we have here. First of all, our district policy on equity recognizes student diversity as fundamental to our educational mission. We recognize the inherent value of diversity amongst our students. Diversity, equity, inclusion, we hear a lot about that and a lot of criticism of that, but those are fundamental values for our district. Diversity, we know our student body is diverse. Equity, we want to support everything that our students need to succeed. And inclusion, to make sure all of our students every day are part of our school family. Our county also is supportive of our immigrant rights and our immigrant community. I think it's this statement here, the reaffirmation of in support of San Mateo County immigrant communities. Again, the county supports the diversity of our community, saying 34% of the county's total population is immigrant. We are supporting safe schools and safe communities. We are valuing our schools should be a place of trust and safety for everyone who attends school here. We want to create a sense of unity between our immigrant families and our local education agencies. We support anti-racist values and behaviors and systems. And Cabrillo Unified School District rejects inflammatory politics of division. We support the politics of inclusion. And so, again, our district supports diversity, equity, and inclusion. To that end, as we have begun to see the effects of mass deportation and immigration enforcement, we've put together a number of resources to support our community. One of the first things we have here is our family resources. So we have a student and family guide in English and Spanish. We have a school official quick reference guide and an immigrant resources website. And so I've been actually working on that, adding some more stuff to it that has been required to put in an immigrant checklist, immigrant family support checklist. And there's a lot more editing to do on that. So it's always a work in progress as we have more refined legislation coming in to support our communities, changes in policies, and ways that we can support our community. So we're constantly looking at this and reaffirming our support. We have a student and family. So the student and family guide is in English and Spanish. So the links there can take you to those. So covers our right to a free, every child's right to a free public education. Make sure that people understand their enrollment requirements and confidentiality of the information that they give, and information on their family and student safety. We also have a school officials reference guide. This guides principals, teachers, school officials in what to do should there be an immigration enforcement visit to the school sites. So it includes a protocol for identifying, verifying credentials, documenting requirements for school access, handling information requests, and notification procedures. So this is what it looks like if you were to go to the link there. So our protocols that we've trained our staff into is, should someone from an immigration agency show up at the school looking for a student or looking for student information, we would immediately notify the district office. We'd go straight to Dr. Miramontes or any of his designees. We'd advise the officer that we will proceed with the request, but we need guidance from the district office. We want to see their credentials, identify themselves. We want documentation that authorizes school access, which should be a judicial warrant. We should make copies of anything that they hand us in terms of warrants or other types of documentation. And if they cannot provide such documentation that verifies their right to do immigration enforcement in our district, we should say they cannot proceed. However, and this is very hard for so many of our educators, should they proceed anyway, regardless of their legal right to do so, we should not physically impede. We cannot physically impede. And it's the urge of every educator to put themselves between any threat or harm and the students, but that is what the law requires of us and the policy of the state and the county. But we document everything that happens. And then our website, as I mentioned, a number of different things are there. So we have guidance for the officials. We have the protocols. I think I read all that thing already. I'm going to move on a little bit. Okay. So I think that the next piece I wanted to go through is the checklist that has been posted. So we have new direction from our Attorney General, who's posted a checklist of everything that families need to know for their immigration rights. And that's now on our website and will eventually be on all the school websites posted there as another resource for our families. And every site, we have cards that we have available for all the families, know your rights cards, to make sure that every immigrant and every person knows what their rights are when approached by immigration officials. So we have these available in every site. And I just want to give a quick note about new legislation. This isn't directly about immigration in and of itself, but it's about political participation. So the middle and high school students have a special designation for if they participate in some kind of political process. And that does include walkouts, as we saw happen not long ago. And I went to the high school as the high school students, about 100 of them, engaged in a walkout. We followed them down to the public road on Main Street, made sure they were safe, made sure we notified the sheriffs that they were out there for their safety. And this is a really, really important thing for students to be able to do, to engage in democratic civic action, to go out there and have their voices heard. It's a learning experience, a hugely important learning experience for students to have. And our job as educators is to make sure they learn how to participate as citizens safely. And this legislation helps further that, in that if a parent of a secondary school student, at middle and high school, calls in advance and says, my student's going to get involved in some kind of political activity, which includes a walkout or strike, they can be excused for that. So this is an excused absence. The parent just has to call in first and let them know it's going to do that. Otherwise, it becomes an unexcused absence, and that would be the sole consequence for a student involved in that. And that's not such a bad thing either. Sometimes there should be a price for civil disobedience, and we hope it's a reasonable price. And for students, okay, you got an unexcused absence. That was the cost that you paid to go out and exercise your rights. And that's a good learning experience in and of itself. We're not going to try to stop students or punish them in any serious way, but it's part of the learning experience. And I think it's a valuable thing for students to be able to do. So I was very pleased to be there and encourage them to exercise their rights. without endorsing or in any way having the school district be saying one thing or another politically, but helping them exercise their First Amendment rights. And just the last piece of that is just so we know, there are rules about attendance and athletics. So if you do choose to be absent during the school day, it might affect your ability to play a game later. So student athletes should be aware of that as another potential consequence if they walk out during the day. And I mentioned the checklist already. And so our ongoing effort, continuing getting input from our community, updating our support, as I mentioned, communicating to families, maintaining our website and keeping it up to date with new legislation and new information, and being open to suggestions, questions, and always, always supporting our families, no matter where they come from. Thank you.
To do the next steps. Okay. Thank you very much, and I will open it up now for public comments. And we do not, actually, is this 3A? Yes, 3A. And we have Christine Walker, would you like to come up and speak?
Hello, board members, Mr. Miramontes. I wrote to you a couple of weeks ago about my concerns about what's going on other places in terms of immigration, so-called enforcement. And I am quite heartened by the report that was just given. It does address some of my concerns. Let me just reiterate real quick what some of my concerns were. I asked that the CUSD board come up with a strong statement in support of immigrants and immigrant families in the district, and clearly that is part of this plan. And I hope that that statement will be included soon in some sort of statement to go out to the community. Because obviously there's not very many folks here. And I think it's something that everyone in the community on the coast side needs to know, that sport is there. I also was hoping to get some guidance about what the rules are for students as well as staff about attending protests during the school day or work period. And some of that, again, has been addressed here. But I would also ask that be widely explained and stated out to the community, as well as working with the two unions that are part of the district and working with them to make sure that everybody knows what the rules are as far as those sorts of activities and what, if any, consequences there might be. So everybody has a clear idea of where they stand if they want to participate in political activity or protests, et cetera. Additionally, I believe there will be a number of general strikes called in the next year as the current situation in Minnesota and elsewhere in the country is going to spread. They may be leaving Minnesota, or they might not be. But regardless, there's still 4,000 agents out there, and they're going to go somewhere. And it's very likely that they will come here at some point. And I think it's really important that CUSD makes a clear statement about where we stand on this, as well as help provide some of the infrastructure that needs to be built in terms of networks, places where community members who feel unsafe to go to school, unsafe to go to work, where they can count on food distribution, online schooling, all those sorts of things. There have been, those of you that know people in Minnesota, may be more aware of what's going on, what has gone on there the
30
last 2
seconds.
months. But they've created all sorts of networks that have really helped, and I believe that we need to do the same here. And we're better off putting that together now instead of waiting until it is needed. So I ask that perhaps a committee be formed in order to try to get some of that rolling. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you listening.
Thank you very much, Christine. Appreciate you being here and your comment. Seeing that there are no more public comments, we're gonna move it on for a board discussion. Pete, would you like to say something?
Christy, thank you for your thoughts and for reaching out earlier about this. I am really torn on this as a board member. I have my personal feelings about what's happening, and I feel those feelings strongly. But I also don't want to do anything that draws undue attention. A while back, we heard from people in the community that essentially asked, be careful how you proceed with the statements you make, because it may be done with best intentions, but it might bring undue negative attention to the community. And that's negative attention that won't impact me directly. I mean, it will impact me because my fellow community members are impacted by it. But so I really try to take that to heart. So I'm struggling with this, I think, as a board member in terms of what the right steps are. I also thank Ramon and his team for coming up with the policy. I think this is a good compromise. One of the things that I think about with these types of policies is, how would I feel about it if somebody was advocating a position that I found offensive or I found harmful? And that's a test of a policy like this. Would it work for either side? I feel like it does. So I support that. But in terms of steps the board should take, or statements we should make, or ways we should prepare, I'm still actively trying to think about it, take in feedback from the community, and I'm very interested to hear what my fellow board members have to say about it.
Thank you, Pete. Anyone else?
Thank you so much for putting this together. I'm in 100% agreement with all of it. And I am so grateful that we are in a district that supports all of our families and everyone in our community. I had a question on the walkouts for students. Just to make sure that I'm reading it correctly and that it's understood. It did say, or I believe you said that a parent needs to let the school know in advance. And I think I said this wrong, but I hear it also says student or parents can let them know, because I'm concerned about parents and children who might disagree on a topic, and therefore the parent withholding letting them go. It just says the notification from either student or parent at the secondary level must come in advance of an absence or walkout.
Yes, I think that this is, I think the legislation may only say parent. This may be a little bit different. I have to look at the legislation. Yes, sir.
I think it's just a minor thing, but if a student is 18, they can call themselves out. So I think that's what it's talking about.
We can get clarity on that.
Okay.
We should get clarity on it, because that is a very good point. If you have disagreement between family, parents and children, you don't necessarily want that happening. And a number of different districts advertised this policy. We did not. We have it on our website. So some parents called in, some parents did not, kind of depending. Yeah. But I can give you that update.
But anyway.
You want me to read the policy for middle school and high school students' engagement in a civic or political event, provided that the student notifies the school ahead of the absent. That's ed code.
It's the other way around, that's right, it's student, not parent.
Okay, amazing. Okay, that's incredible. And I kind of love that a little bit more. It gives the student more of a, say in it. And, okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I will just, Pete likes to talk, well, I agree, we want to talk about things. I like the idea of highlighting this, just that this was, I know that our school board, our agendas are posted, but not a lot of people go and visit. So I would love that this slide in particular, this is an action, no, the next ones are action items, I believe, that is just like, please see what our school board voted, or like what they put into place. I'm not using the correct wording, but.
Highlighted on the website, or?
No, like.
or
No,
the
shoot, I
agenda?
think you're asking, so I've got it here. So the idea is to have this presentation, update the board with new legislation. A letter will go out from me, a soft letter from me, right? Because there are many different opinions about how we do this. I see some superintendents that are out in front of the camera denouncing, right? Poking the bear, right? And I've been in contact with many of our Latino families that feel this way. They don't want any attention brought here. Right? I understand we have to take a stance, and I think this board did with the resolution, but I still think there's more to do, right? Without poking the bear and having them come here. That one time that they were in our area and we pulled the trigger and said, hey, they're in the area, it freaked everybody out. And I jumped the gun. I jumped the gun because we have partners in Alas, San Mateo County. We have a partnership that we're supposed to work together with, right? And it was a miscommunication on my end, on our team, right? And it really freaked out, which I thought, you know what? It was a false alarm, but it was a good temperature gauge for how difficult it is for our families. Next couple of days, we saw a dip in enrollment, attendance, right? People just did not want to be out and about. So one of the things I'd like to do is a soft letter goes out to the community saying our board, we brought this back to our board, the entire presentation in a link, in Spanish and in English, so parents can actually see it, right? Bring back our community liaisons, help them understand what we're doing here so that they could be that link that goes back and forth as well, right? And we just continue to be vigilant, work with our partners within the community, right? ILAS, some of the other partner agencies that we have to make sure that we're all saying the same thing, right? And we're all doing the same thing. That is the unified part of working together on the coast side. But I would agree with you, the letters come in next, right? And so, but I wanted this to start first because I could see, as you mentioned, Mrs. Walker, that every week, we could have a problem where every week we're gonna walk out, right? And that might be a problem, meaning the continuity of educating kids. If kids walked out every Friday, right? I know it'd be very difficult for our teachers, our staff, to make sure that we got through the things that we need to get through. So I just want to be proactive and make sure that we're doing what we need to do on our end and make sure that our community, most importantly, the community that's affected, really understands what those needs are.
Okay, and I don't want to make that, if you guys are in agreement of a letter going out regarding however proceed today, I wouldn't want to do that.
I just want to be sensitive, and he knows to be sensitive that there are the people being affected in our community, many of them that want it quiet, so, but I think you're sensitive to that, so
Yeah, and
I would trust you.
this is public right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not seeing an issue with just like, this is what was presented to the board and these are our policies in email. Because I also want to be sensitive to that, but I do think for the greater community to know where we stand. It's
Yeah.
a good idea. I will say, if people are moved to walk out because it's that bad, so be it. Like, they will know their professions, and that is fine for me.
Yeah.
I think that's for each of them.
I'd like to just comment, my only concern with the community, with the CUSD Family Resources are how user-friendly and accessible they are. I'm, it's great that they're on the website, and there's, official quick reference, and there's a family guide, but where is it? And where do people find it? And who's sharing it? And how are we spreading this? Because believe it or not, a lot of the families that are directly affected by this have, and they say it in Spanish, they say they have peanut phones, but they just open up and they're like the shape of a little peanut. And I'd like to just get a little more information on that, because we could have the best networking plan on the website, but if we are not really relaying it to the people that it's affecting, and sometimes we have to communicate with them in a different way. So how are we accessing this? How will I know if I have limited, knowledge of the website? How are we spreading this information to the community and to the parents?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of ways to approach that. One is a letter that goes out through Parent Square, right, that has a link, and what you're saying is if your phone isn't capable of doing that, it's not in usage. We also have our community liaisons who need to be more active when it comes to visiting where the families are, Moon Ridge, Pillar Point, some of these other places. And every school's gonna be a little bit different, right, when it comes to the families that that may affect. Although we want all families to know about it, but Moon Ridge Partners, Pillar Point, Main Street, some of these agencies, we just actually need to make sure that we're there. We can look at other options. Again, it's been a long time since I've had a flip phone, so I hear what you're saying, and maybe we have some hard copies for those leaders in that community to have what we have as a resource guide printed there for access, should parents need those in those communities.
I'm just concerned that we have great plans, but to the people that it affects, how are we making sure that it reaches them, and do they understand? Just because it's in Spanish and it's written does not mean that people understand. And I would like to, know that the liaisons and that the schools, and they're being creative of how to implement and put this information out there without giving attention to this immigration meeting per se. Like, how are we kind of getting it out there without making so much attention be brought upon it? I'm just really concerned. That's my concern.
Yeah, well, staff and I can work on it. We can put it through the Monday memo to make sure you guys, 'cause in my mind, I'm thinking even the adult school, there are a lot of families there that are learning English language, right? Making sure that they understand where it is, because it's just not our students, it's the community of the coast side. So I think there's other things. I think we can put our heads together, definitely work with our principals and make sure that we have a comprehensive look at every way we can touch our community and our families. Might be the best way of moving forward.
Thank you.
I do think Dr. Kelly with Alas would probably be a good, okay, but yep.
I'm just concerned that there are people that are not connected to Alas. There's families that are not connected to the resources that are out there. I mean, they're not. And sometimes these are the people that really need to know this information and need to know that it's safe for them to send their kids to school, and it's safe for them to go on their day knowing that they will be safe if they're in school. So like I said, I know that there's a lot of people who are working and networking, but the reality is there are a lot of families that are afraid and don't understand, and are just don't have the capability or the resources to go into these wonderful websites and go through this. So I'm just, if we could do everything we can just to communicate this to the families in non-traditional ways, but in ways that they will be informed.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you very much. Now, moving on to item 3B, approval of the mandatory immigration-related governing board policy updates. First and final readings. This is an action item, and it's Consideration is to approve mandatory migrated related governing board policies. Dr. Miramontes, would you introduce?
This item is for your consideration and approval of mandated immigration-related policies. Updates on their first and final reading. These revisions reflect recent changes in California law and updated CSPA guidance. These statutory changes strengthen protections for our students, families, staff, and require local educational agencies to adopt updated policies aligned with the revised model language that you heard tonight from our California Attorney General. These updates are required to ensure compliance with state requirements and the March 1st, 2026 submission deadline for the California Department of Education.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve as presented? Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any comments or?
So are we approving like 1, 2, 83, are we going through, do we have to go through each one?
We're probably not in one.
Yeah. No questions? Okay, so
Let's
seems,
proceed with vote.
proceed with,
Okay.
yeah, thank you, Rosie.
Lisette,
Aye.
Peter, Brianna,
Aye.
Mary Beth,
Aye.
Carmen,
Aye.
Marvick is gone, and Martin.
Aye.
This item passes 5+1.
Moving on through 3C, dual immersion program master plan presentation. And we had, this is a non-agenda, non-action item, sorry. We will continue with the dual immersion program master plan presentation, and I will turn it over to Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, when I first arrived in Half Moon Bay and Cabrillo, one of the things that we wanted to look at was the dual immersion program at Hatch Elementary School and the pathways at the middle school and the high school to the biliteracy seal and so we put together a committee. We worked with CABIC, California Association of Bilingual Educators. I brought in a consultant to work with our staff, our parents, and our administrative team here. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Castillo, who led the group, and I just want to thank everybody that participated. And I think it's going to bring consistency, and it's going to bring a stronger program for everybody overall. Mr. Castillo?
Thank you for the opportunity. It's actually a pleasure for me to lead this group. Being an English learner myself, it was an opportunity to reflect and think about what supported me as an English learner. And it's been a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of collaboration, and it was wonderful to be part of the California Association for Bilingual Education because they have helped so many hundreds of schools throughout California to ensure that we strengthen our programs, provide instructional quality, consistency, and outcomes for all students. So this is a wonderful opportunity for all our students, and we're very pleased to have something on paper because when Jeff transitioned to this new role as principal of a Hatch, he was looking for documentation, like where can I find this or that, and there's really wasn't any documentation. So these are the baby steps that we're taking. I just want to let everybody know that as we progress, things can be added, modified. We'll always have to continue looking at data and see how we can improve outcomes and learning for all students. We started with our mission. Our mission is very important because that's what it's going to cultivate our bilingualism, biliterate. We want to make sure that students are proficient in all their domains, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It's an opportunity for us to ensure that there's rigor on a daily basis, whether it's an English-only program or a dual immersion program. At the end of the day, we want to ensure that there's a large line waiting to register for the program. So that's our vision. I'm not saying that we're going to get there next year, but that is our vision. We want to make this program very effective and nice for everybody. I think, oh, there we go. We started with our vision as a team. Our vision and our expectations, brainstorming what has worked in the past, what hasn't. And this vision drives and are coherent, ensuring that languages are strong in both, ensuring that when students arrive at middle school, our administrators, our teachers at the middle school say, wow, those students coming from Hatch are well prepared and ready to learn. We want to identify these learners to be independent and ultimately earn the seal of biliteracy in high school. I think I skipped one. Can you help me go back? There we go. One more. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Some documentation that we use to ensure that we're aligned is the ELA-ELD framework and also the ELD roadmap. And the purpose of this roadmap is to ensure that there's equity, there's access, and that it's based on education for multi-learner students. Language development is an opportunity. It needs to be treated integral, rigorous academics, and it's asset-based, responsive. We recognize that as a team as we started developing our plan. Here at Cabrillo Unified School District, we have our two-way immersion model. Depending on the administrator that's present, it sometimes changes. And it also depends on the available teaching staff that we have. So we want to make sure that this plan is on paper, something that an easy guide where whoever the administrator is can really follow this and make adjustments accordingly based on data and based on the needs of our community. The long-term expectation is proficiency in both languages by the end of elementary school. Of course, we want them to continue in middle school and high school, but we've been looking at some data. And when the students arrive to sixth grade, we see a lot of students moving away from the program, the pathways. One of the things that we've been doing, and we've been doing this for the last 3 years, is ensuring that we communicate with our bilingual families about the importance of bilingualism and the power that there is in rooting themselves in their culture, their heritage. And it's something that we continue to do, but I truly believe that we have to do a better job sharing the research and also the importance of having ownership in their language, their roots. And this is some of the work that we'll continue to do, because usually that is when we're looking at the 50-50 model, 50 English learners and 50% English only. Our families that are the Spanish speakers are the ones that are usually harder to attract to the program. So not only do we want to make the program stronger, but we also want to continue to offer the importance of these statistical data that shows that the cognitive abilities increase as the kids become bilingual in both languages. Our main goal when looking at the EL roadmap alignment, we're focusing on principle 2 and 3, which is intellectual quality of the program. We want to make sure that they're able to engage deeply with grade level content in both languages. One of the key components for the program to be successful is allowing the collaboration time. And that's not just with the dual immersion program, but with any educational facility that has collaboration and able to look at data, and able to design lessons together and talk about what worked with the students. We see that that structure of PLC, professional learning communities, is something important, and it's a key aspect of how we're going to ensure that the dual immersion program is effective. One of the key components is making sure that the program core guidelines or principles, that language is, the fidelity of instruction is taken in the critical manner. What I mean by that is ensuring that there's bridging only when necessary, but at the same time, the language is maintained with fidelity. If it's 50% and 50 in third grade, we want to make sure that it's consistent throughout the grade levels. If I'm first grade and my partner's first grade, or second grade and second grade, we want to make sure that it's followed throughout the various grade levels in regards to the consistency, to ensure that the students have an opportunity to learn both languages. One of our core guiding principles is ensuring that all students are held to high academic linguistic expectations, and with that comes an opportunity to develop activities that engages the students in everyday communication, visual graphic organizers, expectations that aligns to the grade level material and to the standards. So even if it's in Spanish, the standards are still there, making sure that we're not lowering the bar for those specific students, but instead making the rigor at a high level. We also designed our program core guiding principles. Students must have daily meaningful opportunities to use the language, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, as I mentioned earlier. Designating a safe space. Students have to be able to take linguistic risks. Remember, when I was learning English, if somebody made fun of me, I was shut down for a few days, but I think that culture and that opportunity needs to be built by the teacher to ensure that those linguistic risks are taken by all students. Many times we talk about ELD, English Language Development, and that's the protected time, the opportunity for students to practice their language. But we also have SLD, which means Spanish Language Development. There also needs to be that opportunity to ensure that the students have conversation in Spanish. So we have to treat both languages equal. Just like there is ELD, there also needs to be some SLD. And that's the balance that we're talking about. We need to ensure that there's a balance, an equitable model where the students are learning both languages. And basically this one explains the same thing, but I wanted to share some data. Statistically, it takes 6 to 10 times for a student to be exposed to a word, for it to become familiar, 12 to 20 times to get a deeper understanding and accuracy, 20 to 40 times exposed to that same word in order for it to become their academic language. So you can imagine the amount of activities and opportunities that students probably need in order for them to have ownership of that specific new word, whether it's in Spanish or in English. We've also been brainstorming in our sessions with CABE about professional development, alignment to the language pedagogy, looking at the California standards for ELA, ELD framework. And this is a long-term investment in instructional capacity. I think it's an opportunity for us to reflect and see what additional tools are needed. We've been doing walkthroughs through the classrooms, taking notes, not to judge anybody, but to see how we can support individuals and provide those tools necessary for our students to be successful. The model of that supports biliteracy, academic achievement, and cross-cultural competency is the model that we're looking for. All instruction needs to align with the state framework and our EL roadmap. Here's a little diagram that I wanted to share with everybody in regards to some of the language allocations that we're going to shoot for next year. For TK, basically, it would be a bilingual classroom. We would focus on the oral language development in the primary language and exposure to the secondary language. In kindergarten, it would be 60% Spanish and 40 English, and it would go all the way like that until second grade. And then in third grade, it would be a division of 50-50 all the way to fifth grade. The transition is a balanced bilingual instruction for the upper grades. This allows students to have more support and be able to also be reclassified. Reclassification is a process where they are reaching a specific level in English based on the assessment of California English Language Development. We want to ensure that students get to the middle school level proficient in both languages.
I just want to highlight this a little bit. When we first started to have this conversation with our staff, and we wrote down how much time, it was all over the place. It was 90-10, 80-20, different subjects were in Spanish. There was no continuity, no vertical alignment, no consistency from grade, even from people on the same team. And our SIPA does a great job of supporting the collaboration piece with PLCs. They actually pay teachers to collaborate. I mean, that's fantastic. But the alignment wasn't there as far as what subjects we're teaching in what languages and the amount of time. So you might get less time in the primary grades, more in the afternoon, or in the upper grades, or vice versa. So it was just inconsistent. So now we have a framework that says this is what it's going to be, and these are the subjects we're going to teach, and we can work with our staff members, our teachers, and our community. They all know that what we're doing along the way.
We also went through the process of ensuring that the language is assigned intentionally by content area, like Dr. Miramontes said, to ensure that if we're both third grade teachers, we're doing the specific items in English and these specific content areas in Spanish. So curriculum material and support instruction in both languages, and we've been collaborating with the site leaders to ensure that we're prepared for next year and making sure that we have everything necessary for that specific language. Right now, we're in the process of adopting a math curriculum, so that should be pretty easy, but we're excited about that as well. This is just a little bit of resources that we also have, an additional resources that we use to supplemental curriculum. Within our program, we also want to make sure that there's an assessment system for formative and summative assessments. It's wonderful to be able to have internal documentation and internal data to be able to have those professional learning communities where you do the cycle of inquiry to look at data and see how you're doing and make adjustments as you're teaching and learning. We want to monitor the progress in both languages, English and Spanish, and articulate the data to make informed decisions. The dual immersion program will be open for incoming kindergarten students. Enrollment priorities will continue to follow the district criteria. And we support equity, so we want to make sure that the program is available for the students for Cabrillo Unified School District. And of course, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're also aligning with middle school and high school. For the middle school, one of the changes that we want to recommend is for social studies for 26-27, starting with 6th grade. We would continue with 7th and 8th grade Spanish 7 and Spanish 8th. For a half moon bay, we would continue in the same process, the same course. Students are supported yearly with the certification and making sure that they're on track to go to the high school. The goal here is to ensure that they receive the California Seal of Biliteracy. But these pathways are really what we need to be more supportive and ensure that the students understand. We're working on ensuring that with the A through G that we present to the students, there's also the columns that indicate how they can achieve the biliteracy, this California Seal of Biliteracy. So be more strategic in ensuring that families understand what this is all about. And a big component is increasing our family involvement and commitment. We want to make sure that there's consistency with attendance of the program, making sure that we have some kind of parent compact agreement where you're agreeing to fulfill the needs of as a parent, and making sure that we collaborate with the teachers, the teaching staff, and ensure that you're supporting the bilingualism in reading and writing, and participating with our SIPA community. We need more parents from our bilingual community to engage, so we want to encourage that and increase in that component of family engagement and involvement. That's a critical piece that we know we need to continue working on. And of course, this doesn't take place, this work is not just the work of one individual, but here's all the individuals that support it, and I truly feel that it was a collaborative team, and I want to acknowledge all the individuals that worked with us in supporting this mission. We still have a lot of work to do, but this is a starting point, and our commitment to strengthen the program is so valuable, and we're looking forward to seeing some significant differences in the academic achievement of the students. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you.
I'll have another presentation, but for this one.
Okay. Thank you, Israel. Now we're going to open it up to public comments. Katrina.
My name's Katrina Brown, and I am a parent of 4 kids that have gone through or are going through the immersion program at Hatch, Cunha, and the high school. And I'm also president of the Spanish Immersion Parent Association. I just want to say something as a point of pride, is that my understanding is our immersion program is the oldest immersion program in all of San Mateo County. So it's been around for a while. That said, from a parent's perspective, I've seen 3 major issues that have adversely impacted the effectiveness of the immersion program at CUSD. One, as we all know, is the unstable admin at Hatch, and I'm very thankful for the district to bring in Jeff Clinton, Brooke O'Brien, and Rosalva Segura, and to work on this plan to help address that issue. The other is teacher shortages and teacher vacancies. It's hit immersion much harder than I think any other area in the school district. And third is making sure that English learners are receiving sufficient English language instruction. A 50-50 model of immersion is a well-studied immersion model, and my 2 older sons attended an elementary school in Southern California where there was team teaching, and so at every grade you had an English teacher and a Spanish teacher, and the kids swapped. And you actually had that at Hatch up to 2 years ago at the 4th and 5th grade. I support transitioning the immersion program at Hatch to a 50-50 model with team teaching eventually, because I think it could address the teacher shortages and it brings more English in the classroom for our English learners. I support a phased-in approach to, based on the current staffing. I think I'm still a little unclear on the 60-40 versus the 50-50, and if it's part of a phased-in approach, I'm supportive. But I think long-term, a full 50-50 is where I think it should go, personally. But in addition to a master plan, the immersion program needs qualified teachers. It needs curriculum, it needs training, it needs mentorship and flexibility in implementing this plan. And as a final note, the meetings this fall were mostly focused on strengthening immersion at Hatch, but my hope is that there are plans to better support bilingualism and biliteracy in the upper grades at Cunha and the high school, both for kids that are in immersion and those that are not, but also are looking to be bilingual and biliterate. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katrina Brown. Katrina, right? Okay. Next, we have Kendra Holland.
I'm going to say the words plan and program a lot, so don't use those as words for a drinking game. Okay. My loyalty to the immersion program is not blind. I am protective of the program. Not that I need to preserve it in its current model, just insistent that CUSD Spanish immersion program exists. My priorities when I led SIPA and worked closely with the program founder and former coordinator, Ms. Joyce Hodge, were that CUSD's two-way bilingual immersion program be comprehensive, starting in kindergarten and continuing through a student's senior year, robust, using demanding academic curriculum, and representative, truly representing our community's demographics. I was happy to learn that CUSD would be working with CABE and program representatives to update the master plan. While I am proud of the program, I know it is not producing the outcomes our students deserve. A number of factors are responsible: lack of leadership, administrative and staffing turnover, immigration complications, little to no mentorship, lack of onboarding. But I was confident that CABE would easily see the positives and then offer actionable steps to improve the program for teachers, students, and their families. For the most part, I believe they did. I am pleased to see the changes suggested at the elementary level, although I'm reluctant to call them new since they're mostly a return to how the program operated pre-COVID. But I am concerned about the secondary level plans. My hope was that the new master plan would strengthen the program, and I fear without proper consideration, it may weaken it at Cunha. Anyone involved with immersion knows that Cunha is already a stress point. Consistency in curriculum and instruction is responsible for its recent success. The proposed transition to a subject other than a Spanish language arts class gives me pause. We do not have a teacher qualified to teach social studies in Spanish to 7th and 8th graders, and in the past, that has been a difficult position to find. And if we offer Spanish social studies to next year's 6th graders, and then we don't find a qualified educator, do they just return to SLA for 7th and 8th? Hatch families were told the master plan would be phased in as staffing and logistics allow. Why are we forcing Cunha to adopt the new plan as early as next year? Shouldn't it also be phased in? The new master plan proposes that immersion students take Spanish for Spanish speakers too as freshmen at HMBHS. Will 3 years of social studies in Spanish adequately prepare them for the challenging academic level of Spanish in that class? Will students be ready to take the AP Spanish as sophomores? Will we be able to increase the number of students who earn the state seal of biliteracy upon graduation, as is all of our goal? Like I mentioned, I am grateful for the attention to the CUSD two-way bilingual immersion program. I'm eager to see the immersion program improve and grow for students and teachers. But there needs to be an examination of the implications of these changes, especially at Cunha and at the high school. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you, Kendra. Seeing that there are no more comments, we will move to board discussion. Does anyone have any questions or comments from the board? Pete?
Israel, I'm wondering if you can expand a little bit on the impact that you think that this shift could have on hiring teachers. I know that's a concern. My daughter is in the immersion program, and so I hear that quite a bit in terms of like every year it's a struggle to find the teachers, and a lot of times we search for teachers overseas who can teach the classes. So I'm just wondering if you can unpack that. If you think this plan will impact that, and if so, how or not. I know that's not a primary goal, but I'm just interested in your thoughts on that.
Pete, let me take a stab at that first. So, couple of things. We have to be aggressive in partnering with universities that offer bilingual B-Clad certifications, right? And so I know Leah right away has stepped into it, has been over to Cal State East Bay. Is that the one in Hayward? Yeah, Cal State East Bay. I've also had conversations with CABE. They have a pipeline, at least our consultant has a pipeline with Chico State. As a matter of fact, I spoke to somebody from Chico State last night who actually lives in the community, wants to come back, has been doing their student teaching, will graduate this May, and wants to come back to our community to teach, B-Clad certified, and there are others up there, right? So our partner from CABE has mentioned multiple times that Hamilton School District up in the Chico area has a strong bilingual training program. So we need to get up there and recruit from these different universities that have these opportunities. So one thing is just being connected to the right universities, and making sure that we attract them sooner than later, right? We can't go out recruiting in May and in June. They won't be around. The person I spoke to last night, super interested. I gave her name off to Leah. Once we get settled with what's happening across the district, as far as staffing numbers, we're still looking at those things now. We'll be able to start flying any open positions that we have across the district. But I do want certificated, credentialed teachers in our bilingual program because it'll strengthen our program as a whole.
Answers that question as well. I have seen models of the dual immersion, and actually our CABE shared some of the models from the LA area, where one teacher teaches ELA and history, and another one teaches math and science, and that way they're able to team teach, so that individual could possibly teach 4th and 5th grade. That's a model that can be used, not to say that that's what Jeff's going to do, but it could potentially allow us an opportunity in a positive manner to need less staffing.
On the seal of biliteracy, to get it, you don't have to go through all the classes at our district, do you? The reason I'm asking.
4 years of high school.
But do you have to do it at our school? The reason I'm asking is because I know 2 kids that have since graduated, but thought they were going to get the seal of biliteracy. One, they moved out of the district for a while, but they knew they were coming back. And so they made sure they took Spanish classes where they were, thinking they would get it when they come back. And another student took concurrent enrollment, was up at the community college, and took it at the college, thinking they would get the seal of biliteracy, and neither one of those got it. So I just wondered if those are possibilities, and if so, like, maybe we just need to be careful about those things, because those are 2 kids I know that didn't get it that maybe should have.
Yeah, that's an opportunity to really evaluate the transcripts and make sure that those courses that are being taken somewhere else are aligned with our content area, but all it requires is the 4 years.
4 years anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think by the time they were graduating, they were like, oh, wow, but I knew that both of them were disappointed, so, okay.
Okay, so I will, if you don't know me, I had nothing to do with dual immersion. My kids don't go there. It wasn't a thing for us. I will say today my kids are furious about it, but that we're moving on, and they will learn Spanish at some point and trying on their own now. I'm glad this is just a presentation, because I am going to need as much information as I can get to understand, because I'm assuming at some point we're going to have to approve something based on changes.
Well, you've already approved a bilingual dual language immersion program.
Right.
That's the what,
Okay.
right? The what is we want a bilingual program, and I hear that it's the oldest in San Mateo County. So I love the fact that it's the oldest in San Mateo County but I want it to be the best in San Mateo County, the quality of what we provide to our English learners and our Spanish learners as well. So the what is dual language immersion program. How we do it is what we start with now. We have a platform, a foundation of 60-40 model till we get to the 50-50. Whether we move forward with what Katrina was saying about the team teaching, which is a very popular thing, team teaching. I had it in my middle school, International Baccalaureate School, where teachers taught a couple of subjects. It's a little bit easier on teachers as well. Some teachers feel it, but it has to be a partnership. It's like a marriage, right? So how that strengthens, we'll be working with Jeff Clinton, the principal, on what his model looks like and what his staff that he has on his campus. I have to remind you that we have tenured teachers on those campuses, right? Including the international teachers are tenured teachers. And we have a contract that we have to abide by. We have got to support them, guide them, and this will help support and guide them. And so there's nothing really to vote on unless we want to reverse and say, or if the district wants to say, hey, we really want to pony up and we want to not do money one way and put more money into lowering class sizes, that would be something that you guys would have to decide. But as far as a dual language immersion program, that's here to stay. I'd hate for it to fall apart, but it has to be strengthened for sure. At the middle school, it's tough because what I've heard is from Mr. Clinton, who was there, and also others, that he was at Cunha, is that kids drop out because of the elective, right? They have to give up their elective in order to stay in the program, and that's really not fair either, right? So we were looking at how can we provide another pathway, right, for kids to stay in the dual immersion program. At the same time, I was super impressed with the Spanish-speaking kids when I was at El Granada, and they were doing graduation. There were some fifth grade students that spoke very eloquently in Spanish, and you can tell there was Spanish language at home. And I was talking to Mrs. Segura to say, how do we do a program at El Granada, and maybe for Longview, again, to strengthen the program, right? How do we do an after-school club for Spanish speakers so that kids have some formal education? Because the kids that I heard at El Granada speak at graduation probably could easily transition into the Spanish immersion program, which again, you're starting to add more students at the school site. So there's a lot of opportunities. This is our first blush at it, and I think it's a really good plan. I appreciate all the parents and staff members that were there, and it wasn't super easy because some staff members really want 90-10, right? Others wanted, 8, and you heard one of our parents say it, and I really want the team teaching model, right? I want a solid program across the board from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, right? And as far as the high school, we had input from one of the high school Spanish teachers and the high school staff there as well. And we can always look at strengthening that piece as well. So I do know that kids do take it at the community college, and there's a variety of reasons of why they're doing that.
So, my comments and or my questions, there are going to be some naivete about them as I don't know the program that well, but as a school board member, it's something I should know about and understand better. I want people to, I think it's incredible to be biliterate and bilingual. My concern as a school board member, just for this general, is that children are being educated in the grades that they are. And so yes, bilingual is awesome, but I want them to be educated. So part of my concern, and I think this is not with CABE, it's just with immersion right now, and it sounds like for the most part you're going to address this, is making sure that children are learning the subjects that they should be learning, and so that they can progress to the next level, middle school, high school, beyond. Collaboration time, I think, is huge, and I'm hopeful that that will be like all third grade teachers at Hatch, not dual immersion traditional, because I do think when we come to the subjects that they just need to learn, science, English, language, that science, math, that we're all using the same curriculum, that there can be guidance there. And I think for the other side, if there's some cultural aspects that are happening on the dual immersion side, that would be great to also have, I'm just using third graders on the traditional side, understanding and knowing that part also. And so development of teachers, I think, is what we really need to focus on, especially I'm also concerned about the 6th grade social studies. Like, it sounded good, and then I got nervous, so I'm kind of iffy, but I feel like to make sure that our instruction of social studies is strong to keep moving and not just the language is what I'm hoping there's a focus on. And the amount of money that is being spent on tutors from dual immersion kids is a lot. And so I want to acknowledge that, whether they're going tutoring for Spanish or just in the other subjects because they're not cut up. And then acknowledging that the families who can pay for that, then separating more from the kids who are in the program who would need it but aren't getting it because they can't afford it. Tutoring is a lot. So I'm really hoping that we really work on the education of all students in either program. I guess that's more of a comment. But okay, so my actual question is on slide 20. It says CUSD program welcomes all incoming kindergarten students. So does this mean we are not going to have the 50-50 rule anymore?
The 50-50 Spanish speakers, and the rule will still be there.
I think we need to change that sentence then.
We can modify
Because it
that.
says regardless of home language. So to me, I would say, okay, doesn't matter what home language. I mean, I understand it, but I do think that can be misinterpreted.
Yeah, it'll continue to be 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the key components of practicing and engaging in the language, to learn from one another.
Thank you.
No, I didn't want to cut you off. I wasn't sure. Anyone else? No. I do. I have I have a couple of questions. One question is, based on tonight's presentation, has the assessment tools changed, or what you presented tonight is what you've been using as assessment tools for to track their progress, and is that?
That's what we've been using, but I think we need to be more strategic and have that data present during our professional learning communities, our PLC time, the collaboration time.
Yeah, I think that's really important to know where, if it's working or if it's not working, and to see how it's affecting maybe one group versus the others. Just as a kind of guideline to monitor that. And then why is it hard to attract Spanish native speakers? You said that that's becoming a little harder. Do you have any idea why?
Yeah, so I've been responsible for the DLAC meetings for quite some time now, and a lot of conversation comes from parents compare their students to other students that are not in the dual immersion, and sometimes the English language development is not as proficient as their neighbors or their cousins or their other siblings that are not in the program. So we need to ensure that, and I know it takes a little longer, but sometimes it even lingers to middle school. So we want to strengthen the program so that is not something that is occurring. We want to make sure that they're proficient in developing the English language as well. Because at the end of the day, when they interview or they go for jobs, the first language that's going to be tested and they're going to be required to provide whether their resume and application, it's going to be in English.
Okay. And then lastly, it's more like a yes or no. I'm not expecting you to have this number, this number off the top of your head, but when you talk about the seal of biliteracy, would you say that both groups, the native and the non, are both gaining this seal?
I don't have the number on the top of my head, but it's not equal.
It's not?
No.
Okay, that's it. say something, Dr. Miramontes?
I was just going to say that, one of the things that just walking through classrooms, and that's where I would encourage the board to do walkthroughs, right, to see what's happening in the classroom. Incredible things happening, right? Now that we have a plan, it will definitely strengthen it, and then we'll be able to look at this. One of the things I think we have to really focus on is making sure that whoever we hire for our dual immersion programs, right, that they have the equal Spanish and the equal English, if we can, right? Because we're expecting our students to be both ways. We should look at the same thing as well. Unless we go to a 50-50 model all the way up where we want this predominantly Spanish language. But one of the things that our CABE consultant did talk about is the dialect, right? The dialect between a person coming from Spain and a person coming from or growing up in California or being from Mexico, where most of our students come from. The dialect is a lot different. As she pointed out, it would be like having a teacher from England coming over or from Australia coming over and teaching kindergarten, right? The dialect is going to be a little bit different. I am amazed that I have two ladies here, Mrs. McVicker and Mrs. O'Connor-Brown, that speak Spanish impeccably, right? They do a great job of speaking, and I've seen them, I've witnessed it, right? That's the caliber we need to have, strong in Spanish, strong in English. So that's something that we'll continue to move forward with, but that would definitely help it out. The plan that our parents put together with CABE and our staff members put together is the first step of a long road that we need to make sure we continue to. We're not done. It's a starting point for us. I want to reassure you that. And we definitely will look at the middle school and the high school model as well.
I'm also really big on family participation and family support. And I personally did not put my child in immersion. I was not an immersion child. I didn't go, even though I went to Hatch, I didn't participate in the immersion program. But I feel like if I could give just a little personal advice is, you have the kids in this classroom and you have a great opportunity to build community and to learn from each other. And I don't really see that happening. And I'm not, I'm just hoping that that could also, more than just the fiesta event, there's more opportunities as community to learn and be bicultural, not just bilingual.
I gotta say to that though, when my kids were in it, we did hang out together, and it was hard because we couldn't talk to each other a lot of the time. But there is some of that going on for sure. So just
I agree, there is, but there's not enough. I think that it always could be better. Right, moving on, I'm gonna move on to item, are we still in 3? 3, oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Israel, appreciate it. To 3D, yes, the 2025-2026 LCAP mid-year presentation, monitoring report and key performance indicator update, and this is just a presentation. Dr. Miramontes?
Yeah, I'm going to bring Mr. Castillo back up, and he's going to go over the mid-year presentation. Mr. Castillo?
Oh, well, here I am again. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Basically here, I'll try not to take too long like the other one, but it's an opportunity to our mid-year update. Basically, we look at the plan, the progress, the key performance indicators, equity trends, performance data, and we get an opportunity to make adjustments. Oops.
Okay, that's right.
Can you go back? Can you go back? I think I went. Oh, there we go. One more. There we go. I'll begin by just reviewing some of the main goals. And under Goal 1, we have academic improvement. Goal 2, focus on equity. Goal 3, whole child. And Goal 4, district sustainability. Under all these goals, we have many actions that are going on, and today we'll have an opportunity to go over the progress. These items and actions we monitor, and we assess how we're doing, and we make adjustments. So all those key components there that we look at are this like college and career readiness, increase English language development to support all our students, layers of support, environmental sustainability, and fiscal sustainability as well. Basically, this is the time where we start thinking about our 3-year plan. This is the last year for our LCAP. So right now, we've been collecting data. We've been having input sessions with our families, our teaching staff, our PTOs, gathering all that data and seeing what goals we need to revise, what adjustments need to be made. And then we continue with our new plan for 3 years again. Our local control accountability plan basically is like a cycle of inquiry rather than just a compliance document. It should be a live document that we're able to adjust, track actions, goals, services, and also our expenditures. We're looking at student outcomes to address local priorities. Each year, the LCAP is reviewed, updated, and refined based on the student data. And we'll be sharing a little bit of data today of what's working, what adjustments we're making. Basically, when principals look at the LCAP, they use the LCAP as a guidance to develop their school plan for student achievement, their SIPSA. If you're on their PTA, you've seen the SIPSA before. So basically, the SIPSA is aligned to our LCAP and should be aligned. I'll start with some data. Here's some data that we got from the California dashboard. And this data, we get a chance to look at the opportunity that we have to improve. This year, we're in differentiated assistance in several groups, one of them being English learners, long-term English learners, socially, economically disadvantaged students, students with disabilities. If we look at it at the key areas are English language arts and math performance, which remain red in multiple student groups, chronic absenteeism, college and career readiness indicators. While English learners have progress, it shows on the orange, indicating some growth, but there's still ongoing needs for targeted supports. This data confirms that priority 4 under pupil achievement and priority 5 under pupil engagement and priority 8 under broad course of study remains to be the key focus areas. In response, the district has implemented ELA, ELD, and math focus across school sites, and we continue to work on our multi-tiered system of supports. These efforts will guide us in collaboration. We've been collaborating with various departments and aligning our district goals to allocate resources to support these students. Here's our college and career readiness, A through G. If you take a look at the graph, basically we have here our English only at 61%. There's a big gap of negative 54% when we're comparing it with English learners at only 7%. To strengthen this area, we've been reflecting, collaborating, and Dr. Miramontes and I have been meeting with our site leaders in regards to strengthening our Tier 1. And our Tier 1 of instruction is the first instruction. How do we get students from falling in the cracks and needing intervention right away? It's by strengthening our direct first tier of instruction. In addition, we've invested in math. We know that we're way past due in our adoption of mathematics. We've also expanded early education, improving data systems for reporting. And improving early education has an impact on what we do in the early years allows the students to be really prepared for college and career readiness and completing their A through G requirements. Here's some local data. This is for our local data for reading. Basically, if you take a look at the data, maybe focus on the blue. If you look at the blue by grade level, EOY, which means the end of the year, and comparing it to the beginning of the year, it looks like we're doing very well, because if you look at kindergarten, we were like at 47, and right now at the beginning of the year at 45. So there's not a big percentage that we'll need to get to by the end of the year. So it's looking really good. It's got some positive outcomes, and some of.
Can we make the comment that this slide was changed?
Oh, so do they have the wrong one? Okay, so you guys have the wrong one. My apologies.
They all
Yes.
got copies, and the handles that are there on the back, those are the correct ones. But for the people that is watching on YouTube, this slide has been changed, information was incorrect, so we will update this tomorrow.
Yeah, my apologies. When we transferred the data into a pretty graph, they didn't transfer accurately, so we put the original raw data. So the one you're seeing here on the screen is the original raw data. Basically, some of the establishments that we did this year is the literacy block, and a lot of this work contributes to the work that we've been collaborating with Rachel Sage, ensuring that students have that literacy block in place, and ELD, designated and integrated ELD. Another thing that is happening is the cycles of inquiry after the DIBELS-A data, after students assess, teachers, administrators, they meet regularly to analyze the progress and see how they can modify their instruction. We also have bits of support for new teachers, ensuring that there's strong implementation. We have early literacy collaboration meetings to strengthen cross-site participation. This year, we also had an opportunity to start using IXL, which is a program that you can actually assign specific standards to student groups to target their areas of need. And it's a program that adjusts just like the state assessment. It adjusts based on whatever the teacher assigns for that specific student, and it can be done on the computer. Here we have some early literacy data as well. Our grade 3 ELA and math data shows overall progress, but there's persistent gaps remain. Same student groups that I mentioned earlier with our English learners, students with disabilities, socially economically disadvantaged students, and our Hispanic students. This reinforces our focal of early target literacy and math intervention aligned with Goal 1. The key here is strengthening our core instruction, the Tier 1, like I mentioned earlier. We're also in the process of, now we're at the point where we're piloting 2 programs. We're doing piloting InnovaMat. We're starting with that one, and the next one we'll pilot will be Imagine Learning. So we're excited about that, and we're looking forward to, by next year, having a new mathematical program. This year, something we also did to improve our math performances is we went over the mathematical practices. So every teacher from TK through 5th grade had an opportunity to review these mathematical practices. And what that is basically how students think, how they engage with mathematics, how they learn, how we can make math fun. It's all about making the learning fun for students to start engaging better and enjoy their schooling. Under Goal 1, academic improvement, we've been doing cycles of inquiry, district and site-based, using disaggregated data to identify opportunity gaps. We're aligning our adjustment, our subgroup needs, focus on grade level rigor, access to all students. This year, we've always also are very thankful for our CEF partners. They're going to continue to support us with granting our science specialist, maintaining our science specialists, and also collaboration for both math and science teachers, and that's very critical and important. I think anytime you get two educators to collaborate and share lessons and share what works and what doesn't, it's so powerful that they're able to collaborate like that. Inclusive practices, it's important to align with instruction and responsive strategies, not waiting until we get data from the state, but be able to respond right away and allow students that those voices to engage with us at an immediate time. Increase English language development is our goal too, focus on equity. In this area, we want to improve outcomes for English learners. Current ELA and math proficiency rates for English learners remain low in grades 3rd, 7th, and 11th. This is why we set intentional growth for the 25-26. To accelerate the progress, we're prioritizing ensuring that that ELD is the ELA, ELD, and math intervention for English learners is designated. We have also increased ELD staffing from 0.6 to 1.0 FTE. We've strengthened both our designated and integrated ELD instruction with the help of our ELD TOSAs. This will support student achievement. This slide highlights the progress towards Goal 2, and it's focused on the equity. Language development supports all students in regards to our reclassification. We noticed that at this point we have 18% of our students that were reclassified. So far, that was 24-25. So far we have 11.8%, which is 40 students have already been reclassified, and we still haven't we haven't got the data yet for the spring LPAC. We're just assessing right now, so we can see that we can expect that number to really increase, and we'll have more data prior to the end of the year. So we're seeing some great trends there for the reclassification. This slide shows the achievement and access gaps across student subgroups, math, ELA, and A through G. English learners and students with disabilities show the greatest needs, particularly in math and ELA. A bright spot is A through G completion for Hispanic students, which went up to 49%. Here we're using the local dashboard data to target support and receive. Right now, we're working with our county because we were identified in year 1 of differentiated assistance, which is not something to be proud of, but at the same time, it helps us identify root cause analysis and figure out strategies and specific target areas in which we can close the achievement gaps. This slide highlights fairness and equity. Here we see for ELA proficiency for unduplicated student groups across grades 3rd, 7th, and 11th, compared to 25-26, which is our target goal. While we see some progress, the gaps remain, particularly in English learners, students with disabilities. In response, we are refining our intervention programs and aligning LCAP actions. And now is the perfect opportunity since we get to rewrite the 3-year plan. We'll be working with our team. On this data here, was this one of the slides? Let's see, was this one, Rosie, that we changed
Yeah,
to?
I think so.
Yes.
It's the bottom one from the page.
Yeah, so this one was changed as well. The numbers didn't come out like we wanted them, so our apologies. Basically, here we have some of the data that's targeted, math proficiency for English learners, and also students with disability and socially economic disadvantaged students across key grade levels compared to the targets for the 25-26. While current proficiency remain below target, particularly in grades 3rd, 7th, we see defined growth goals, our clear expectation moving forward. To close these gaps, we're investing in targeted support with our literacy, ELD, TOSAS, reading intervention, our MTSS, multi-tiers of support, and adoption of our new math curriculum, as I mentioned earlier. We're excited about that. And for next year, we're also looking to see if we have the resources to possibly hire a math teacher on special assignment. Anytime that you have a new curriculum, the county suggests, and I know it's could be very valuable to have somebody who is supporting the teachers with that transition into the new math curriculum. In regards to safe school environment, we have James here who has been doing a lot of this work. A lot of this work involves various different departments. It's not just our department, but it's a braided effort. We've been working on positive behavior intervention support with PBIS district-wide, ensuring that there's particular training where needed. This year, James was working with Half Moon Bay and El Granada, enhancing systems to promote positive student behavior. He worked with the San Mateo County to bring some support from Gray Frey, the San Mateo County Office of Education. We're also ensuring that we are up to date with our emergency preparedness and safety plans, the Big 5 emergency plans. Alternatives to suspension is another area that we continue to expand, ensuring that the students are in school, actively learning instead of being suspended or out of the school environment. We have exemplary discipline practices. We meet with our principals to ensure that we emphasize that there's preventative ways of dealing with discipline. And of course, strengthening relationships with students. This year, we started our year with knowing students' names and understanding their background, their story. That's something that we continue to bring up at our leadership meetings, making sure that we have a place for the students that they feel welcomed at our school environments. Under layers of support for Goal 3, we continue to use data to be intentional and make sure that we're having the whole child as we monitor their academic progress. And when we look at the whole child, we're also looking at their emotional well-being, their attendance patterns, their behavior patterns, ensuring that any necessary staff member is available to support and allow the students to re-engage in their activities. Together to make instruction as supportive as possible for all students. Some of the data that we collected is also from the California Healthy School Survey. The last one we did was 24-25. Usually it's every 2 years. I know James is working on submitting opportunities to continue this work. Looking at the data, we see strong connectiveness in 5th grade, and then it takes a dip in 7th grade, which is a critical transition point beyond the 9th grade. We're strengthening our support to improve students' connectiveness by reducing chronic absenteeism and dropouts. Including challenge day, MTSS meetings, ongoing meetings to look at, is it academic, is it behavior, is it mental well-being? There's different criteria that we look at when we have our multi-tier systems of support to ensure that we have the individuals that need it for that specific support. It's not always about the academics. It could be many other factors that are influencing the child. Under Goal 3, we have the whole child continue to integrate into the cycles of inquiry. We have informed systems. We're cleaning up our power school, ensuring that we have behaviors that are inputted into the system, making sure that we have ongoing collaboration between staff, student support services. At the same time, this year we had an opportunity to do some, over 1,000 students are scheduled for oral health screening in TK through first grade, ensuring that sometimes when there's difficulties, it could be something health related. So we're responding to ensure that there's a clean path for students when we're responding to actively engage them in instruction, making sure that there's no barriers. Under the whole child, we continue to we have targeted counseling. This year, something new that we didn't have before is the counseling at the elementary schools, which has been very helpful. Another thing that we do is continue on targeting training. This year, we've been training our paraprofessionals, yard duty supervisors on justice practices, ensuring that we have restorative justice. Paraprofessionals have also been trained with conflict resolution, crisis prevention. 88 staff members this year were successfully trained with CPR and AED during the January session. We're strengthening our campus safety by ensuring that we have ongoing supports available in the playground during school and after school. All this work is in collaboration with all our classified and certificated staff, ensuring that learning environment is something approachable by all students. Under Goal 4, environmental literacy and outdoor learning, we're implementing district-wide environmental sustainability. We have the scope and sequence through hands-on programs, through Hill Gardens, TK through first field trips. We have Elka's Ranch. We're partnering with Co-Site Land Trust. We have early learning emphasis, introduction to nutrition, ecosystems, environmental stewardship. We're expanding learning sustainability. Restructuring the Dolphin Club, ensuring that there's after-school care for students at El Granada, improving staffing opportunities with some collaboration and trainings. We have facilities and program planning, engaging in full-day kindergarten planning to address staffing and resource needs. Long-term systems approaches, advancing environments, students to support responsible resources and using long-term district sustainability. We continue with sustainability, and I believe I mentioned some of this stuff already, but I'll skip this one and go to the next one for Goal 4. We continue to meet the required 3% reserve, and it's moving steadily toward the board's 60% reserve target. Reserves increased from 5.6 in 2023 to over 10% projected in 24-25. That allows us an opportunity to be able to breathe and know that we're focusing on the long-term financial stability and resilience. Another area that we work with is it's something that we'll continue to work, and as Dr. Miramontes mentioned earlier, with our employee sustainability, ensuring that we have those employees and we sustain them and we keep them. This year we were able to hire 4 in-person speech pathologists, where last year we had some that were online, and it was very difficult for the kids. So that was something that really supported our programs and our systems. It's important for us to shoot for the long-term sustainability of employees. Basically, here's a little graph in regards to the expenditures by Goal 1, 2, 3, and 4. the total funding budgeted and the mid-year expenditures. So we seem to be right on track. We will continue to monitor expenditures closely, working here with Jennifer to ensure that we fully utilize the funds and align it with the students' needs that we've identified in our LCAP priorities. This is the LCAP supplemental funds that should be used for unduplicated pupils, English learners, socially, economically disadvantaged, and foster youth. When we focus on the whole LPAC, we look at the strengths, and some of the strengths that we've highlighted is we continue to improve in our district-wide literacy implementation with all teachers trained in the science of reading, supported through coaching, aligning with literacy books, instruction and data. We continue to use DIBELS to make informed decisions. DIBELS 8. We're targeting our students to continue to see a steady English progress for reclassification. And we also continue to work with our MTSS framework to ensure that we strengthen our PBIS restorative practices and expand our mental health practices. Continue with the strengths. We also reflect on our operational alignments and community trust. We continue to work on that and the systems in place to have a comprehensive school safety plan. We continue to enhance our Big 5 protocols. We've expanded meaningful family engagement opportunities. We're reaching out to many of the communities amongst all the departments to ensure that we provide the adequate information, whether it's academic or related to immigration. We're gathering, we're collaborating, and we're working across departments to ensure that we have a strong presence. And at the end of the day, we're expanding our academic and enrichment access. We also have identified some gaps, and some of these gaps are the achievement subgroups that we mentioned: English learners, students with disabilities, socially academically disadvantaged, and particularly in the areas of literacy and math. So we need to continue ensuring that we set funding aside to continue to create goals and have staffing available to ensure that we close these gaps. In addition to that, we are also ensuring that operationally we continue to face challenges with some of our technology systems that we have adopted. We're working closly, collaboratively. This year, or last week actually, we brought in Power School to retrain our middle school and high school leaders to roll out the master schedule. So we're ensuring that we continue to provide professional development. Anytime there's change in administration, there's an opportunity to continue to bring professional development. So that's an area where we continue to improve, but we're getting stronger and we're progressing as well, but those are some of the areas. Equity trends, we continue to see achievement gaps for the groups identified: English learners, students with disabilities, low-income students. And these are the needs across all the slides that I presented. It's the same groups that continue to be identified, and it's something that really hits home, and that we really need to adjust and make modifications to the plan to ensure that there's a wide focus on these specific groups and enrich their learning opportunities here at Cabrillo Unified School District. And that was it. And in closing, this mid-year review demonstrates meaningful progress while also highlighting areas that are requiring focus. So, you probably heard me say the same groups more than 20 times, but those are the groups that we've identified, and we continue to look at the root cause analysis with our county to pinpoint solutions.
Thank you very much, Israel. Thank you. That's a lot of information, but thank you so much. I'm gonna open now to public comments, and I have a public comment from Stacy McCarthy. Come on. Good evening, Stacy.
Green. Green means go. Thank you to our school board members, our student members that we lost. They probably have a lot of studies to do. To Dr. Miramontes and to everyone that's here. My name is Stacy McCarthy. I have a first grader in the immersion program. And I want to thank Dr. Castillo and all the folks who helped with the CABE work. The clarity with which the mission and guiding principles were outlined, I think is a terrific foundation for us to continue to improve that. And I'm excited about the changes that are coming. Thank you. I'm here tonight to talk about things I learned in our Spanish-speaking LCAP meeting. And I want to amplify a couple of areas of concern, specifically our college readiness and our literacy. Families shared that students are reaching their senior year and only then discovering they have not completed the courses required for college eligibility. Parents didn't know, students didn't know, and by the time they found out, it was too late. I find myself asking how this can happen in a system that is so committed to this outcome. What guardrails are in place so that a 9th grader who falls off the A to G path is flagged immediately, not in 12th grade? Parents also express concern about students moving from grade to grade without mastering foundational literacy skills. Advancement without mastery may feel compassionate in the moment, but it compounds inequity over time. If 3rd grade literacy is the gateway to every other subject, then we can't afford silent gaps. We cannot. Our vision must be bigger than our incremental improvement. Our vision must include that being Latino, multilingual, low-income, or first generation is never predictive of lower academic outcomes in our district. To me, that means clear public benchmarks for literacy by subgroup and real-time monitoring of A to G progress starting in middle school. Proactive counseling so families understand the path to college eligibility early in their home language. We talked about that earlier in just the immigration readiness and awareness of that. The families I spoke with aren't asking for miracles, they're asking for transparency, they're asking for urgency, and they're asking for a system that does not let their children quietly fall behind. I believe in this district. I'm in this district because of our larger community, and I want to be part of, with you, bridging this divide. It can't continue for our next generation of students.
Thank you, Ms. McCarthy. And seeing that we have no more public comments, we're going to move it on to board discussion. Does the board have any questions or comments to make? Pete, I'll ask you because you're not, I don't know if you're raising your hand. I don't know what you're doing over there.
No, I mean, I'm just processing the presentation. The numbers are not a mystery. They're not where we want to be, and I just try and remind myself that the LCAP is about planning for better outcomes, and that's that's part of the process. So that's kind of where I am. I don't have any questions at this time, and I do want to thank Israel for putting all that together. That was an exhaustive work, so I appreciate that.
I have a couple of questions. I'm gonna be transparent. It's been a rough week, and I was not able to digest this whole presentation. I'm still gonna have to go over, and I'll probably have questions after. But I just want to make sure that when I'm reading it again, that I'm understanding. One of the goal 1, early literacy. So now I'm looking at the updated. So beginning of year, that's the percentage. This is Dibbles, right? First, okay.
Yes.
So the beginning of the year is the percentage. By the end of the year, you want to be 100%, correct? That's like the ultimate goal.
Yes, that's the ultimate.
Okay, so the beginning of the year for kindergarten, 45%, we don't want just get them 47%, like.
No.
Okay, we want 100%, got it. And then, a positive, sorry, Oliver, you said this is our last year. This is our last year, or we're finishing up our second year next year?
We're rewriting it for next year.
26, 27 will be year 1 of the new 3-year LCAP.
Yes.
Okay. I love a focus on social emotional support and the phone-free policy. Just gonna throw that out there. Good ones for me. So goal 2, and I think this is math. The math performance. So this is English learners is blue, I believe. Grade 7 and grade 11, this says that 0% of our English learners are proficient in math. 0?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to look at it twice too, because I thought I did an error, and yeah.
And that's from, 24, 25. Okay. Thank you so much for spending so much time on this, and I'm like heard it all, and I just feel like I need to digest it again. I read it, but it was now as you say things, I'm like, oh wait. So I want to read it again after this presentation. I might have more questions, but this is really informative, and I know it's a ton of work. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I've got a question about the college and career readiness portion. I know there was some info in there that touted as a good thing that we had an 11% increase in our AP class offerings. I was wondering, and I know you might not know the answer to this because I know you're working with all the schools and this is pretty school specific, but do you happen to know what courses were added, and if you worked with the CSM in picking those courses, because I know that CSM now has a campus here in town. So I wonder if you have any more info on that.
I don't have the exact courses that were added, but I could get you the information. Okay. Basically, what we do is we collect all the data on a spreadsheet, and then we get all that data and put it into this presentation. But sometimes it might not be us directly getting the data. We might be asking like our site leaders, can you tell us what the data was for this specific
Fair,
data?
and I figured that might be the case, but I thought I'd try.
But I can get that for you.
And I guess my concern with it is if we are trying to be really careful with our money, and it's our English learners and our low-income students that are really struggling with this, is it best that we're adding AP classes? Especially when we have partners that are willing to help with a campus in town now to help with that. But I know they're offering some creative writing classes now at the campus and some other classes. I'm not sure all of them. So anyway, I just wondered about that. Best use of bang for your buck, I guess.
Yeah. In addition to just adding the AP courses, I think the foundation starts from the elementary, getting those academics, the tier 1 intervention to be very solid in order for them to be able to be successful in those A through G courses.
I just wanted to say something.
Go for it.
Go for it. No, go for it.
I was just going to say, this is the perfect opportunity for us to, and I know with our superintendents, we've had conversations. Now, the A through G requirements allow kids to go straight through Cal States, right? The community colleges are trying to find their new role, right? So this is a perfect opportunity. San Mateo superintendents have talked a little bit about this. And, you know, Dr. Perez has been a great advocate for us here on the coast side. So we'll be reaching out to him to talk a little bit more about how we might be able to partner a little bit better.
Dr. Perez is at CSM?
CSM, yeah. And then the other piece is, one of the things that we've learned through this whole process, and you know, Israel gives me snippets along the way, right? And I see the team, James, Deanna, I mean, they're all working, not in silos together, but one of the common threads that I see across the board is not having clean data in CalPADS. You know, and I can't emphasize, and I went through a process when I was the assistant superintendent back in Buena Park, where it was like 80% of our kids were labeled as homeless students, and that wasn't correct. So in our communities, it was multi-generational, where families just lived together, right? And that wasn't the definition of homelessness, right? And so but 80% of our kids, so we want to make sure we had clean data across the boards, where even when you type in the word street, some people were STR spelling it out, some people were ST, you know, some people were putting avenue, it wasn't even the right street. But I can't emphasize the work that has to be done this, and we really are working towards providing clean data across the board, because I know our A through G courses wasn't correct, and I know our CT courses weren't correct, and we're going after grants. We gotta make sure we've got clean data that truly says what we're doing. So there's been a huge emphasis from Israel's department. I know Josefina's been a part of it, Jovi Trejo's been a part of it, working with our sites to make sure we have accurate data. And the accurate data will provide us better information, so that if we have to move the puck, Gretzky talks about skating towards the puck, we can adjust appropriately. Right? If we don't have the right data, you made a great point. You know, we're adding AP courses, but we're still seeing our English learners not really succeeding, right? So we've got to look at those pieces. In the regular courses, yes.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for all the work. You and Josefina, you guys have been out there late in the afternoons, and you've done other, you know, by bringing them something to eat, acknowledging that, you know, you respect their time and their collaboration. And as much as it's unfortunate but not surprising that they're not as attended as they should be. I think that it's very important that the people that were there are acknowledged and heard, and so thank you for doing that. Thank you also for following up. I know, you know, there were some parents that had specific concerns, and just having you guys, you know, as the face of the district and support them, it means a lot. So thank you, and thank you for doing all that hard work, and just continue the collaboration. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, but it's definitely a start. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item, 3E. We'll now consider the approval of the independent audit report for the year ending June 30, 2025. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, we have Angela here, the audit manager from Siobhan Associates, will present CUSD's independent audit report to the governing board.
Good evening, Board President, Superintendent, and the Board of Directors. Tonight, I'm going to present the audit result for Cabrillo Unified School District fiscal year 25 audit. First, I would like to introduce 4 auditing standards that we follow through our audit. First one is the Statement of Auditing Standard from AICPA. Second is the Government Auditing Standard. The third one is the uniform guidance that we use for single audit federal compliance testing. The major program we select this year, fiscal year 25, was special education cluster. The last one auditing standard that we follow is called Education Audit Appeal Panels, which we use for testing the California State Compliance Program. Our audit objective is to provide reasonable assurance about whether the district financial statement are free of material misstatement. That means when we do our audit work, we select sampling to complete the work. We complete 4 phases of the audit. First phase is about planning and risk assessments. The second phase is we come in for the district audit, district office to perform our interim work, which include internal control testing, which include federal and state compliance testing. The third phase is we come for year-end audit. It's also performed at the district office. It is for the substantive testing, which is test of detail, which include accounts payable, account receivable, revenue testing, long-term debt, capital assets. And the final phases is we wrap up all the pending item, and we also drafting the audit report. I would like to give a few financial highlights on the financial statement as a very high level financial statement information. The net position from 24 to 25 fiscal year, it had been going down from 26 million to 25 million. Total asset, which include the total asset, is increased by 9 million. Capital asset increased about 23 million from 24 to 25. And the revenue, the total revenue, revenue from fiscal 25 is about 65.9 million, which is similar to 24. It's increased about 1.9 million. Program expenses increased about 2.4 million from 64 million to 66.8 million. The components for the revenue and expenditure are similar from 24 to 25. Property tax comprised of 70% for district revenue. The overall fund balance decreased about 14.5 million. And for the long-term debt, the GO bond increased because of the issuance of the 2025 Series A gold bond, which is 15 million. The net pension liabilities decreased about from 40 million to 31 million. The long-term, the pension liabilities is mainly because of the actuary assumption that's fluctuate from year to year. So the overall long-term debt increased by about 2 million. Looking at the financial trends on the general fund, the district operate as a surplus in the past 3 years, and also the district maintained the reserve requirement from the state. So we complete our fiscal year 25 audit, and we gave an unmodified opinion, which means a clean opinion with no finding. The other opinion that we issue relate to the compliance audit is internal controls over financial reporting and on compliance in accordance with the uniform guidance, which is about the federal compliance audit that we complete. Our testing disclosed also no instances of non-compliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. Regarding state compliance testing, the district complies in all material respects with the compliance requirement of state programs. Also, there is no lack of going concerns, and we did not have any significant uncorrected adjustment throughout the audit. And for fiscal year 2025 audit, we experienced no difficulties and disagreement with the management team that we are working with. That's all for my presentation of the district report for fiscal year 25. I'm open to any questions or comments.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lee, and thank you for waiting patiently, and we appreciate your time. And since there are no public comments, I'll open it up for the board.
We need more.
Oh, sorry, we need a motion. Yes, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Now we open it to the board for comments.
I don't really have anything, just thank you for doing that, and good job, Jennifer.
Pete, you have any comments, questions?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Lee. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're ready to vote. Lisette?
Aye.
Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Just want to say it's a clean sheet, and if, I know that Jennifer was a softball player, it would be a no-hitter. So, good job.
Yes, thank you very much, Jennifer. Moving on to item 3F. It's the Citizens Bond and Parcel Tax Oversight Committee Annual Report for 2024-25. Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, our wonderful Kendra Holland, Chair of the Citizens Bond and Parcel Tax Oversight Committee, will represent and present the committee's 24-25 annual report to the governing board. Kendra?
Good evening. I'm Kendra Holland, and because I lost an arm wrestling match to Lisa Zanetti, I serve as the Citizens Bond and Parcel Tax Oversight Committee Chair. The Citizens Oversight Committee is responsible for ensuring bond and parcel tax funds are used appropriately for authorized projects. We meet remotely a few times a year to review financial information, project reporting, and independent audit results. This reporting year, our committee included Lisa Zanetti, Hero Ellis, and Chris Giannini. We are always looking for more members, and if you're interested, please contact Ms. Holly Lynn in the Cabrillo Unified School District Business Department. As a quick reminder, Measure S was passed in 2012 for about $81 million to repair, upgrade, modernize school facilities. Measure M passed in 2018, authorizing approximately $99 million to continue district-wide facility improvements and address aging infrastructure. And in 2024, our community passed Measure K, authorizing up to $153.4 million to address critical facility needs, safety improvements, and modernization projects across the district. After reviewing the financial information, reports, and audit, the Citizens Bond and Parcel Tax Oversight Committee finds that Measure M, K, and S funds are being used appropriately and in full compliance with voter intent and legal requirements. Finally, I would like to take a quick moment to express gratitude to the entire business and facilities departments, and especially Holly Lind, who prepares all of our documents before our meetings. And big thank you to the COSIDE community for passing these measures and investing in our kids.
Thank you very much. Now I'm gonna open this for a motion to approve as presented.
Moved. I'll second.
Thank you. And now we can open it up for public comments or the board. Does the board have any questions or comments?
Just thank you to everyone on the committee for helping us out and making sure everything's in line, so thanks a lot.
Having been on that committee for a few years, thank you for keeping that concise, and that was good job, President.
Anything from you, Pete?
I just want to echo that I appreciate the work, and it's a central piece of what we do in the district. So thank you.
Okay. Now we can do this as a roll call.
Roll call, yes. Lisette?
Aye.
Peter? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. Now it's 3G. This is the, we'll now hear the presentation from Derive Castellanos. Oh, just kidding. I'm reading in Spanish. Architects. And Measure K project at Half Moon Bay High School. I'll turn it now to Dr. Miramontes.
Thank you, President Cortez. So we have Ramon Gomez from Derivi Castellanos Architects, DCA, will present the Measure K project at Half Moon Bay High School to the governing board. Ramon?
Thank you, Dr. Miramontes, and we can just refer to us as DCA for short. That's easier to remember. I'm Ramon Gomez. I'm principal architect for DCA, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to give a brief introduction of our firm, as well as give a general overview of the plan for implementing the Measure K projects at Half Moon Bay High School. Let me see if I can. So I'd like to start with our mission statement. We are focused a lot on customer service, which is all about serving you, the district, and the Cabrillo Unified School District community at large, and working together as a team to ensure that the goals of the Measure K and the facilities master plan are implemented efficiently and transparently as possible. Here's a picture of our team in general. We're happy people. We're easy to get along with, and it's a great group of professionals that have been at it a long time. So we're very capable of implementing the master plan as it's the vision for Cabrillo Unified School District. In this slide, I've identified 5 keys to success, which again is about serving you and the community, listening and understanding your goals, engaging stakeholders, and first above all, perhaps is improve teaching and learning environments. So it's really about improving that educational environment. And we do so with transparency and providing excellent customer service. So a brief overview of what we've been tasked with. We are responsible for partnering with you and the community to ensure that the Measure K projects at Half Moon Bay High School are delivered in accordance to the facilities master plan approved by the board on August 21st of 2025. These projects include a new aquatic center, new and modernized classrooms, CTE facilities improvements, and infrastructure and underground utilities improvements as well. And along with that, we will improve some of the exterior outdoor spaces and try to incorporate opportunities for outdoor learning as well. The general timeline that we've kind of preliminarily established is we're going to start projects as early as this year, 2026, and probably extend through 2031. And as I've mentioned, all of our projects in the implementation process will include significant input from the community, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Miramontes, and the community as well. Just a brief overview of our initial plan. As I mentioned, we're starting projects as early as this year, starting with the installation of temporary classrooms, so that we can make way for the demolition of the building G at the high school, and making way for the demolition and the construction of a new pool. And then that's going to extend and lead into 2027 to 2028, which would include the construction of the new pool, and construction of the replacement for Building G. And then at the last wing of the implementation plan would probably extend to 2028, 2029 approximately, with the construction of Building A, which is demolition of the existing Building A and construction of a new 2-story classroom building. So a brief summary of our first 100 days. We've already started meetings with Drew Gamet from facilities, and as well as met with several teachers and students at the high school to gain that input, the initial input, and start our information gathering process to start making sure that the visions for the projects are implemented. We've began steps to investigate the site itself, trying to understand what's underground with utilities and what preparations we need to make in preparation for the construction of the new projects. And we've initiated dialogue with the state architect, who is the approving agency as well, to give them a heads up that these projects are coming, and try to identify any pitfalls or anything that we need to look out for, so that we can be proactive about the approval process and making that process as efficient as possible. And as I mentioned, we've started the installation of the temporary portables, the relocatable classrooms that will serve during the interim, during construction. And just looking at general site logistics and planning and the communication of our goals as well. And yeah, so that's it for the first 100 days, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you and making sure that we deliver the vision of Measure K and the Facilities Master Plan as efficiently and as transparent as possible. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Ramon, and thank you for being here, and also thank you for your time. I'm going to open this. I'm going to have a motion to approve as presented.
Presentation and action.
Yeah, I believe this is just a presentation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, never mind. And I'm going to open it up now for for board discussion. Any comments?
Thank you very much. My son graduates in 2031, so we will be in this together, and I hope he walks out of a full school. So thank you.
Yes, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm excited to see. Were we also going to? Does this also include the new area for special ed? Right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Is this a roll? This is not a roll call, right? Okay. So I'm going to move on to 3H. Next item is an action item for approval of the architect services agreement for, what did you say to call you? DCA? Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, I just want to, before we start here, Drew's going to take the lead here. I do want to thank Jennifer and Drew for all the work that they put into just securing quality architects across the board. Drew, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know we've got a little bit to talk about here with the approval process.
Yes, thank you very much. Board President Cortez, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Miramontes, thank you for this opportunity to speak with you on this. I wanted to explain a little bit about what the $8.7 million in this contract covers and why it's an appropriate project of this scale. So first of all, this contract is a template that we received from our bond legal counsel, which we received through DWK. And once the contract was completed, it was also reviewed by bond counsel. And this provides comprehensive architectural services for the entire Half Moon Bay High School modernization project in the current phases that we have planned spanning. With estimated construction value of over $91 million, the architectural fee represents roughly 9.6% of construction costs, which for K-12 projects of this complexity, involving a pool complex, new buildings, DSA compliance, fees typically range from 8 to 12%, so we're right in the middle of that range. The contract is structured as a not to exceed amount, which means that DCA will only bill us for work they actually perform. They have to document their hours and activities on every invoice, and the contract includes detailed hourly rates so that we can verify their billing. If the work costs less than $8.7 million, we pay less, but they cannot exceed this amount without coming back to you for approval. In terms of the scope of this contract, the contract covers 3 construction phases. Phase 1 in 2026, demolishing the pool. Phase 2, demolishing the pool and installing interim housing. Sorry, we're going to do all that. 8 portables is what we're looking at currently. And campus-wide repairs and utilities to systems such as water, electricity, sewer, and internet connectivity, as well as other minor modernization as well as other minor modernizations and projects. Phase 2 will involve the completion of the pool complex, a new building G, some CTE modernizations in building J, and the utility upgrade and the finishing of the utility upgrades in phase 3 would be a new building A. DCA's fees includes all the major design disciplines, including architecture, structural, civil, mechanical, electrical, landscaping, and aquatic design, plus cost estimating. What's not included are things that the district would typically handle or are required by statute to handle: hazardous material testing, surveys, geotechnical studies, inspectors of record, and CEQA compliance. This contract includes strong protections for the district. If the bid comes in more than 10% over budget on their design, they have to revise the drawings at no cost to us, and if change orders result from construction resulting from their errors, they are responsible for the costs. And we have the right to audit their records at any time. We hope that we have your support in this and look forward to their approval. Right now, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Drew. Before we go into discussion, now we will, I will ask for a motion to approve.
A motion?
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Now we'll open it up for public comments or any questions or discussion from the board.
I have a question, just so it's not really on the contract, I guess. But Sue said this is based off of $91 million project.
As it's priced right now, yes.
And that $91 million, as it's priced right now, is for phase 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're gonna add, so it's gonna be like $100 million between DCA and, or is the 8.7 million included in the 91 million?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It is included in the 91 million from the point of view that we need to, that over the course of the project, we have to establish what the actual construction costs are, because that helps determine what their final cost is. Okay. But anytime we go through any of those modifications or anything's a good example of that would be when we looked at the El Granada project, and we realized that there were some things that were falling outside of that, and we had to modify the contracts for the architects for that other project. So that would be an example of a modification that we would need to bring forward to.
So, okay, thank you.
I think a similar question. The fee that they're charging, I think you said is roughly 9%. Is that accurate? Did I hear that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, are there fees tied to that? So, like for example, if our costs go up on our end, and it's not an architectural thing, it's just that maybe materials or labor was more expensive. Do there fees increase, or is it just happens to be 9% now? And if they're changes to the expense of the project, that percentage would decrease. Does that make sense?
I think I'm understanding you. So if the project were to, like if we were to decrease the size of the project, for example, is that what you're asking?
So right now it's 9% based off of projections of what we think we're going to build. And let's say 5 years from now, the cost of a project goes up because of materials. Let's just say that. And then so instead of 90 million, it's 100 million. Does that mean their fee also increases? They haven't done anything extra in terms of their architectural work, but the fees have gone up. Is that percentage tied to the overall expense of the project, or is it?
It's tied to the overall construction costs of the project. So, if you, not to get ahead of ourselves on the agenda, but if you look at QK, we have a couple of items that are coming up where we're establishing the final guaranteed maximum price for Farallon and for phase 1 of El Granada. So that's going to be another process that we're going to go through with them when we get towards the end of those projects.
And is that pretty typical? I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe that's just the industry standard, that's how that's done?
Yeah. And for this delivery model, yes. There's other delivery models, but the direction that we're going in is doing lease back, which is similarly how Farallon View and El Granada were delivered.
Okay.
So if the price of wood goes up, this is going up.
Yes, okay. But that's not going to be. Yes.
But you tried to take that into consideration. With
The cost of escalations in this. Ramon, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
If I may, we projected our the cost of the project through the anticipated construction period, and there's a factor in there for inflation as well. And I will say that our fees are not necessarily would go up if the price of materials goes up. Our fee is tied more towards the scope of the project. So if the scope increases, then our fees increase. So that's
well, and also you.
And then primary.
In my opinion,
yes.
I just want to clarify what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily. It's tied to your work. So if you're called to do extra things that cost more money and add to the project, then that's going to increase your fees. That totally makes sense.
Correct.
And Brianna's an example. If the price of wood increases by 5%, then there's no changes to what you're doing for us. That doesn't mean you get more money.
Correct, yes. And I get the opposite would be true too. If the district decides not to proceed with a project, we wouldn't get that fee either. Yeah.
But if prices do go way up, you would get more money, right? Because it's 9% of the cost of the project. So my thought was, what if inflation goes crazy, right? That's what if inflation is way more than you accounted for, then it would make sense that you would be getting 9% of the cost of the project, because we would all be accounting for inflation.
Yeah, we would have to evaluate that if that happens. Presumably, if with the cost of inflation, cost going up, and everything goes up, including our salaries and overhead costs as well. So, I will say that we can be flexible with that, if it's purely because the cost of lumber goes up because of something that happens in the world, or that's totally out of our control, we would work with you on that and not raise our fee in that regard. Yeah. I want to emphasize that it's going to be purely on the scope of the work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just.
I don't want to belabor the point, but I guess that would be my thought, Drew, on this. Is that I want to pay this architecture firm, a fair fee, and so I want to pay them for their work. So that's kind of that's how I would prefer that would be structured, is that if they're doing more work for us, we're paying them more, that's fair. But if it's the cost of screws go up, that has nothing to do with their work, I wouldn't want to pay them more because of that. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, and it is said that if the cost is to change, you would bring it back for our consideration, correct?
Any modifications.
Okay. Any modification, thank you.
Because we always have to operate in an environment that is approved by the Board of Education. That's our authorization to proceed.
Thank you, Drew. And thank you very much, Mr. Gomez. Gomez, did I say it right? Okay. All right, moving on, we have
Roll call vote.
Voting.
Oh, roll call,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Please.
Lisette?
Aye.
Peter? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the agreement with IT Simple KIS for Mercada security cabling and installation for El Granada Elementary School. Dr. Miramontes?
We skipped one.
What did I speak?
We are aye.
You're right, I am. The final fee adjustment for El Granada Elementary School, Phase 1 project. And I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, the district is requesting approval of the final architectural fee adjustment for the El Granada Elementary Phase 1 project in accordance with the owner-architect agreement with QKA. The original architectural fee was based on an estimated construction budget, and the agreement provides fee adjustment once the final guarantee maximum price is established. Following project completion, the final GMP increases, resulting in a recalculated graduated architectural fee and net increase of $117,169.
Okay, before we have a discussion, may I ask a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, now we can open this up for comments or any questions. But before we do that, I do have a comment from the public, and it's from Nicole Robinson, El Granada teacher. Thank you.
Do I have to press a button? It's on? Okay. Hi, I'm Nicole Robinson. I teach reading intervention at El Granada Elementary School. Good evening to the board and Dr. Miramontes. I'm here to describe a little bit about what I do, and this does tie into the construction that's currently happening at El Granada. So I have been the reading intervention teacher for the past 8 years, and during that time, CUSD has provided me with a lot of structured literacy and Orton Gillingham-based professional development through the Wilson Learning Company, the Institute of Multisensory Education, and Hegarty. Structured literacy is a prescriptive, hands-on, materials-rich approach to teaching reading. It does not rely on personal or whole class screens. Instead, it requires significant wall space and accessible materials. Recent legislation from the state of California, specifically Assembly Bill 1369, Assembly Bill 1454, and Senate Bill 488, requires early literacy screening. That would be the DIBELS 8, which I have been implementing for the past few years. Adoption of evidence-based phonics-focused curriculum for grades 1 through 8, and teacher training in structured literacy. Part of my job is to help teachers set up and manage the curriculum and as well as implement the reading curriculum. I work with them during the school day and after the school day, coaching with that. I currently teach. Right now, my space is in the new C building at El Granada, and the design of the classrooms there places the TV screens, these right in the center of the large magnetic whiteboard wall that is there. And the screens are fixed and they protrude out from the middle of the wall and they obstruct student sight lines and they orient the desks because of the size of the classrooms. They orient the desks and the rug areas toward that screen all day. So both teachers and parents have expressed concern about this large TV-focused design of the classrooms. I reached out to 16 of the 18 teachers at El Granada, and 15 of them responded to me, and they all agreed that the screens are in the way of teaching the core curriculum and should be movable or relocated. So right now, nothing can be done. I understand about the C building, but we're rebuilding 2, possibly 3 additional buildings, and for TK to 2, those grades, which is the most critical for learning to read. And I'm just wondering, can we ensure that the screens are not centered in the primary teaching space? Because they need, the students and the teachers need large, preferably magnetic whiteboards for daily display and reference of the reading and math curriculum and materials. And at Hatch and Farallon View, the screens are either movable or they're recessed.
Can you please wrap up your comment?
Or that you can move a whiteboard in front of the screen. And so could we implement one of these at El Granada in the new buildings? And if that's not possible, can we at least dedicate some other wall of unobstructed, large, preferably magnetic whiteboard?
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson, and thank you for being here and waiting for your comment to be heard. Thank you. I have no more public comments, and I will open it up for board discussion. Anybody have any comments or questions? Pete, nothing?
I have a question. Oh, go ahead. I can wait.
You're the only one that has a question, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have a question related to the TVs. I'm just wondering what's possible at this late stage. It sounds like this has not been implemented yet, that there could be adjustments to the TVs if the teachers feel like that's valuable, but I'm not sure what's possible, so I don't know if Dr. Miramontes, you can speak to that, or Drew can speak to
Yeah,
that.
what I can,
I'm just curious.
yeah, what I can say is I'm sure that any modification would have to go back to approval process, meaning if we're pulling wire and we've got wire in the wall that has the TV and cabling there, that's probably already done. What we can look at is if we don't actually attach a TV to the wall, leave it as is with the plug there, and then figure out, do we have money that we could buy portable Promethean boards, whatever smart boards, would be the only other option that I'm just thinking of out loud. I want to walk the campus. I want to walk with Mrs. Brown to hear their concerns. But as far as readjusting, moving walls, that would take us back some steps, and I don't think we would make the timeline, which would add additional costs in the long run. I want to do it right, and I want input from the teachers. I think there was input from the very beginning. I wasn't here, Drew wasn't here, Jennifer wasn't here, most of us weren't here, but obviously someone had input at the very beginning, because we do that. I mean, I know DCA worked, or QK worked, Fairlawn View Studio W worked and got input from teachers. They set them up. Sometimes it's like when you build a new kitchen, right? Not everything comes out the right way you want it. So it's an opportunity for us to go back, take a look at it and see what we can do, what's in our scope. But it's got to be consistent. What I've seen when I built things is you've got one teacher says, I want it on that wall. The next teacher says, no, I want it on that wall. The next one says, no, I want it on that wall. And that becomes very difficult to do, right? I mean, they line up all these cables so that they're typically back to back or however they do it. But definitely want to get out to that site as soon as possible and have that discussion and see what options there may be. We'll put it in the Monday memo, but I also want to make sure we move forward.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to get a sense of that. Great. Thank you.
So we'll proceed with roll call.
Yes, please.
Lisa,
Aye.
Pete, Brianna,
Aye.
Mary Beth,
Aye.
Carmen,
Aye.
passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. Now, 3J, the approval of the agreement with Keep It Simple for Vercada security cabling and installation for El Granada Elementary School. Dr. Miramontes?
As part of the El Granada Elementary Phase 2 project, the district is continuing implementation of the Vercada security system to enhance campus safety through the installation of exterior cameras, alarm equipment, and related cabling. Staff recommends approving an agreement with Keep It Simple and authorize Vercada partner to provide cabling, installation, and system integration services for buildings A, K, and D using CMAS piggybackable contract pricing. The scope of the work includes Vercada hardware, Cat 6 cabling, installation, 5-year licensing, freight, and applicable taxes, all performed in compliance with the required codes and safety standards. The cost of the project is $113,666.10. Will be funded by the bond funds allocated to the El Granada School Phase 2 project.
Thank you, Dr. Miramontes. May I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
I'll second it. And now we're open it to public comments and discussion with the board. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, so now
Should
we
move
proceed
with
to roll
vote?
call. Yeah.
Lisa,
Aye.
Peter, Brianna,
Aye.
Mary Beth,
Aye.
Carmen,
Aye.
passes 5-0.
Thank you, Rosie. Now we're moving through to item 3K. We will now consider the approval of the final architectural fee reconciliation with Studio W Architects for Fairlawn View Elementary School modernization, Phase 1 and 2. And back to you, Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, the district is requesting approval of the final architectural fee reconciliation with Studio W Architects for the Fairlawn View Elementary School modernization project. Phases 1 and 2, in accordance with the Architectural Services Agreement, the basic services fee is reconciled based on the final construction cost once the guaranteed maximum price is established. Following project completion, the recalculated graduated fee reflects a higher final construction value, resulting in a net increase of $251,812 to the architectural fee.
Thank you, Dr. Miramontes. May I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Thank you. Now I'm opening up for discussion with the board.
Quick question, confirmation. The playground that Fairlawn View is getting is unrelated to Studio W, correct?
Correct. We'll you'll address the architect later in the agenda.
Anyone else?
It's on consent.
Approval?
Approval? No? We're ready, Rosie.
Okay, so we need to do roll call. Lisette?
Aye.
Pete? Aye. Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Now, 3L, the final item under the general business is Resolution 01-2026, authorizing designation of district representatives for the State Allocation Board Administrative Programs. Dr. Miramontes?
Yeah, the governing board is being asked to adopt Resolution 01-2026, authorizing the designation of district representatives for the State Allocation Board administered programs. The resolution designates Jennifer Marsh, Chief Business Officer, and myself as superintendent to act on behalf of the district in submitting applications, executing required documents, and certifying compliance with the Office of Public School Construction and the State Allocation Board requirements. Approval ensures the district remains eligible for state funding and compliant with all current OPSC regulations. Following adoption, the district will submit the approved resolution.
May I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Now I'm going to open it up for board member discussion, comments or questions.
We're ready to vote? Okay. Lisette?
Aye.
Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Now, moving to item 4, communications. We will now open the public comments on non-agenda or consent items. The board is committed to maintaining. What was I saying? The community and the board feel safe to express themselves and are free from bullying, harassment, and threats. The board welcomes your comments and requests that you express yourself accordingly. All members wish to speak should complete a comment card and hand it to the executive assistant to the superintendent prior to the introduction of the item. Members wishing to address the board are allotted 3 minutes per speaker, but this may be reduced depending on the number of speakers for items. The total time comments shall not exceed 20 minutes, and please note that the speaker time cannot be delegated to another person. As a reminder, the CUSD Governing Board does not act upon a non-agendized item except under limited circumstances as permitted by law. Matters raised during the public comments will be referred to staff for further examination and actions where appropriate. Next, I will move to hear from employee organizations. So, for
We have one comment.
Oh, we do? Oh, just kidding. Yes, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Miss Gary Fong? Yes, thank you, Miss Fong. Sorry, I almost missed you, and you've been here since the very beginning, very patiently. Appreciate your time. Ms. Fong, were you a teacher?
I was. Were you one of my students?
I think I was. I think I was one of your teachers. I didn't recognize you with your mask.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I'm here this evening to say great job and thank you for all the work you're doing, and have a good evening. My name's Jerry Fong, and I serve as the secretary of the COSI Community Orchestra. And I'm also the orchestra's double bass player. And if you know anything about instruments, it's the big one. All right. And I'm pleased to share information tonight about an upcoming educational outreach program at El Granada and Fairlawn View elementary schools, and to briefly introduce the orchestra. The mission of the orchestra is to bring beauty and power of symphonic music to our community by inspiring young minds, fostering intergenerational connections, and providing local musicians with opportunities to perform at high artistic level through concerts, education, community engagement, and we seek to enrich lives through orchestral music. The orchestra was founded in 1982 by local musicians and music advocates, 2 of whom were former Cabrillo Unified School District teachers. The orchestra has long been a cultural cornerstone of Half Moon Bay and surrounding communities. Each year, we present 2 full orchestra concerts and 1 chamber music concert. Voluntary $20 donations collected at these performances support our educational and community programs. We are firmly dedicated to supporting music education. Many of our founding, former, and current members have backgrounds as educators. Our contributions to COSI music education encompass in-school demonstrations for elementary students, previous grants, facilitating student attendance at San Francisco Symphony youth concerts, financial assistance for band programs at Cunha and Half Moon Bay High School, and opportunities for orchestra members to collaborate with high school students during school musicals. We also award an annual $1,000 scholarship to a graduating senior who's demonstrated excellence in music. One of our most recent initiatives was co-sponsoring with Beach Break Entertainment a screening of the Academy Award-nominated film Philharmonia Fantastique for all 700 third through fifth grade students in Half Moon Bay. We got to see them all. An event that was very well received throughout the community. March is recognizes Music in Our Schools Month, and in celebration, 11 orchestra members will present assemblies at Coastside Elementary Schools. The program will include instrument demonstrations, short performance from the finale of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and a participatory performance of Pretty Planet with students having prepared in advance and singing along. Those of you who are interested in attending these assemblies should coordinate with the principals at El Granada and Fair Lawn View schools and see if you can attend. Finally, I'd like to invite you to our next concert, Saturday, April 11th at 7:30 at the IDES Hall. And we all hope to see you there. You'll see me there with my double bass. It's quite a load to carry around. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wong. Thank you. It's great to see you. And now moving on to 4B, employee organization reports. We will now hear from Cabrillo Unified Teachers Association representative.
Good evening. Yesterday, I was able to attend a local CTA President's Forum. It provides us with the opportunity to discuss lots of issues that concern all of us as educators. It's also interesting to see how the other half lives. But I'm very happy to say there were a few moments where I got to speak very proudly about things for teachers here in Cabrillo Unified. Of course, there were also a few times where I wasn't, but that's true about most things in our lives. After a morning full of meetings, we moved north, and we went to support our brethren at UESF, San Francisco educators that have just completed their 4th day on strike. CUTA was out there in the pouring rain with over 6,000 teachers and staffs from San Francisco that are fighting for what we want in every part of the state and this country, fully funded and staffed schools. It's a fight that we all take on together. Earlier today, when I was working on the comments for tonight, I started focusing on an article put forth by the National Education Association. What has really impressed me is that in these very challenging times for education, former NEA President Lily Eskelsen Garcia referred to as the Educator Spring, where just like the Arab Spring, all of a sudden people are starting to listen to what educators have to say, from topics like school funding, safety, student discipline, students with mental health challenges like anxiety and depression, chronic absenteeism, etc. We're all trying to express what we believe is best for students. Here on this board, I've met with many of you, working on meeting with the rest of you, and been able to speak in person, and we hope that we can keep these avenues of communication open. Just as an example, before we had the student walkout, Dr. Miramontes and I communicated in advance and established policies for both staff and the ability to help keep our students safe and encourage them to express themselves and so on. Several CUTA members have contributed to the LCAP. We've been involved in discussions with the building projects at Half Moon Bay High, And, we just want to just kind of reiterate every item on the agenda this evening is something that teachers can provide input for. So, again, we just want to keep those avenues of communication open. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carey. Thank you for being here and thank you for waiting. We really appreciate your time. Next, we have California School Employees Association representative.
Hello, I'm Paul Harrison. I've been an employee in the district for about 11 or 12 years now. In 2020, 2021, I got involved in advocating for some of my colleagues as a unrepresented classified employee. Ultimately, those sort of acrimonious discussions and negotiations has led me to be in this union that I'm in now, we're Chapter 45 of the CSEA. I'm currently the vice president and also a member of the bargaining team. And I'm glad to say that that I'm relieved that those days of friction are behind us. We've had really, as I've stated before, really good, amicable, collaborative discussions and negotiations, and I think that has enabled us to come to a tentative agreement, a robust 3-year agreement, which we will bring to our members to ratify in March. And I just want to say that I feel that agreement represents real progress, and I'm grateful that Dr. Miramontes, Jennifer, we as a bargaining team have that opportunity to bring it back to our members. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Every time I see you, Paul, I know it's not very appropriate, but I want to give you a high five. Thank you. High five. I miss those days too. Thank you, and thank you for being here tonight and your time. Thank you. Moving on, we're gonna move on to consent agenda, right? Okay. Items listed under the consent agenda are of routine nature and are not anticipated for board discussion. The superintendent recommends their approval. If any board member requests the removal of an agenda item from the consent agenda, it shall be taken off and individually considered as a regular agenda item. The consent agenda requires a motion, a second, and an approval by a roll call vote. Each item approved by the governing board on the consent agenda is considered in full and adopted as recommended. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
And roll call, Rosie?
Lisa?
Aye.
Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you, Rosie. Next is item 6, governance matters and reports. We will now move on to the governance matters, beginning with the selection of CSBA delegates for sub-region 5B. Dr. Miramontes?
This item is for your consideration and action on the selection of CSBA delegates for San Mateo County Subregion 5B. There are 3 available seats, and the board may vote for up to 3 candidates. The official ballot includes Chelsea Bonini and Terry Chavez, both incumbents, and writing candidates are permitted under CSBA rules. Staff recommends the board take action to select candidates for submission to CSBA.
May I have a motion to approve?
There's 2 candidates. You can write in a third one. Just let me know if you want to do a 2 and 1, or just a 2.
Before the motion? Don't we need to discuss?
Yeah.
This item, because we can write in one, should we do 2 motions?
I would like to be written in. I did this job last year, and I'd like to do it again, and it's open right now, so I'd like to be put as write-in candidate, please.
I have a question about that. Since your term is up in November, and we don't know what's going to happen, then what happens? This goes till March 31st, 2028, right?
Then they appoint someone.
They appoint someone?
Yeah, I would roll off, and then they would appoint someone.
Motion to
I'll make the motion.
select the two candidates that were incumbents and then Mary Beth.
I make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's do roll call. Lisette?
Aye.
Pete?
I'm sorry, question real quick. I'm trying to pay attention to my class. What are we, I see.
You're picking three candidates, two that are there. There was a motion to have Mary Beth written in, and you're just approving the three candidates, that's all.
It's for the state.
The yes vote would be to support Mary Beth and the other.
Yes.
Thank you, that's what I needed.
So we have to all together support all three candidates?
That's the motion now. If you want to make another motion to support one of the three?
And also not vote for the others.
Okay.
And just vote for Mary Beth or any, yeah. You can vote up to three. Can, or not vote.
But we all have to vote the same or together, as one?
Yeah, as one. The motion right now is for the two incumbent candidates and Mary Beth.
So that's what, well, we're doing the roll call.
Okay.
So, but we're, right now, if you respond to the roll call, it's for what Rosie just said, the incumbents and Mary Beth.
Well, it's discussion, so if you have issues, speak, yeah?
I just feel like I'm not fully informed on all of these people and what they do. I know who Chelsea Bonini is. I think Terry is treasurer. Is that who takes our money? Okay. And this is, sorry. Okay.
This isn't county, though. You know them from the county. This is for the state. Oh, no, sorry. This is county. Sorry. No, this is county. Yeah, sorry. There's no one running, so if those two don't do it, then they've got to go find someone that will do it, which might be difficult, so.
These are the only people running.
There are three positions, and there are two people there, and I'm supposed to be there, but it got screwed up, so.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you
Okay.
don't vote for them, then
Yeah.
they gotta go find someone that wants to do it.
Got it. Okay, fine.
Okay, so let's continue with the motion as it was presented. Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth? Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you, Rosie. Now, moving on to item 6B, the approval of out-of-state travel to attendance to the Coast to Coast Conference. Dr. Miramontes?
Yeah, this item is for consideration and action to approve out-of-state travel for two board members to attend Coast to Coast Federal Advocacy Conference in Washington, D.C. from April 13th to April 15th. The conference focuses on federal advocacy and provides opportunities to engage with policymakers in support of public education. We recommend the approval of the proposed travel.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? I'll second it. Now we will open this up for further comment or board discussion. Does anyone have anything to ask or say? Any?
I'm fine with this, but I would love to have a sense of looking at travel expenses. Is there a sense of what it's going to cost?
About 3,000 per member.
Thank you.
And we listed as a 3,000 to 35,000 just for any Yes, for any unexpected.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it's Mary Beth and Brianna, correct?
Yes, they're our CSBI representatives.
We're ready for a roll call. Rosie?
Okay, Lisette?
Aye.
Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth?
Aye.
Carmen?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Now we will be moving on to board member reports. Would anybody like to start us off tonight?
I'll go. I know it's late, but I just want to shout out my good things over the past month. I'm going to acknowledge that it has been a month filled with grief in our community. And with that in mind, I really did then want to point out the good things. And one of them is what an amazingly strong, caring, and lovely community we live in, that even in unbearable times, people are able to support each other without question. And I am so appreciative to everyone for that. I loved the high school walkout. I was very proud of the kids for taking that initiative and finding their voice. I was thankful to our CUNYA students for that day acknowledging that they had testing and not participate. I went to the 8th grade info night as a board member. I don't have an 8th grader, and the high school is not something I've not personally been a part of, and it was great. I just thank everyone at the high school. I'm thankful to all the parents and families that came out. Multiple teachers commented it was standing room only in the classrooms. It was such a good turnout, and so good job 8th grade families for showing up and caring, and to all the teachers for taking the time to present so thoughtfully. We also had 5th grade info night, which I do have a 5th grader for, also standing room only. So thankful for our teachers and our 8th grade leaders. The kids really loved the 8th grade leaders. They were just that was who can I pick next year? I'm well, none of them, they'll be in high school. But it was just a great thing for 5th graders to see this group of leaders and to be helpful out. El Granada Elementary had a math night on Tuesday night. I did go. I just don't know my days of the week right now. That PTO helped put on, and I just want this is what PTOs are meant to do, is help build the educational what is happening during the school day, and this math night was phenomenal. It was so fun, and it really you could see the kids putting the things together and doing math. So it was great. The salad bar has extended to Fair Lawn View, so yay, good food. Thank you, Stephanie. And then I wanted to highlight one teacher, Miss Rippey. She happened to be here. She is a brand new teacher, first year teaching. She's doing the 2-3 split at El Granada. A few parents came up to me and said, I just really love Miss Rippey. And I was like, ooh, okay, what example can I say? Maestro Juan, I had an example. They're I don't know, I'm not in the classroom. I just know that my child is engaged, wants to go to school, and is happy and feels like they're learning. So bravo to this first year teacher who is supporting a 2-3 split and that the kids want to go. So I don't know exactly what's happening in that classroom, but it's amazing. So thank you. That's my update.
I just wanted to ditto what Brianna was saying about the 5th grade night and the 8th grade night. Well, I have a 5th grader and 8th grader this year, so I was taking notes and so thank you to all the teachers who participated in those wonderful events. All right, that's all I got.
I agree with what everyone has said. Everyone, just to add on, I just wanted to put a plug in for the County School Board Association. There was a reading program on Monday night, and I just want to encourage people to come. There are always a lot of information, and they're great to go to, so thank you.
Thank you. I echo everything you guys have said and agree, even though I'm not as involved as maybe Brianna, but I know that there are great things happening. Yo nada más, lo único que quiero agregar esta noche es recordarles a todos que que sigan involucrados, hagan preguntas y si no saben algo que pregunten. Siempre hay un apoyo aquí para poderlos informar, ayudarlos y más que nada apoyar a sus hijos en su educación. I just wanted to, just continue to let parents and families know to continue to be vocal and ask questions, and we're here to support the families if you ever feel like are in need. That's all I have. Dr. Miramontes?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short and brief. I want to thank Mary Beth and Brianna for heading to coast. I've done that before. If you're not there, somebody else is advocating for their districts and their communities, so we need to be there. We really do. So thank you. It's not an easy trip. You fly up, you meet with a group all day long, you're hitting every legislative office, come back the next day, hit every legislative, get on a plane and come back. So it's not like you get time to travel and see fun things out there. And then I'm going to end with just the fact that, a 3-year deal with CUTA and CSCA is huge. I mean, it really tells the story of us moving forward. I say us because it is us, right? And so I want to thank the board for their confidence in allowing me to do what I need to do. But more importantly, we have all our students in the best interest, right? And we know in order to do that well, we have to have partners like CSCA and CUTA. And I would be, remiss if I didn't include our leadership team as well. Our principals that are on the front lines along with teachers every single day. So I want to thank them as well. And I think this is great. When I've spoken to other superintendents across the county, they're flabbergasted. Cabrillo? Yes, Cabrillo, right? So we're turning the page and we're moving forward. So thank you guys for doing what you guys do. And our parents as well.
Thank you. Thank you all for participating this evening. And there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, Rosie?
Sorry, I didn't catch who's motion and who's second.
I seconded. I moved. Brianna moved.
Okay, Lisette?
Aye.
Pete? Brianna?
Aye.
Mary Beth? Carmen?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.